Dean, something terrible happened last week.
Terrible?
Absolutely terrible. Well, many things terrible happened last week, but in the toy realm.
Oh, no.
I started collecting TVC 3 3/4, right?
Oh, boy.
And I love it. It's so fun. Like, you know, because I like to take a figure to work, or like if I'm going on vacation, I'll take one figure. I don't know, just something like, it's like a fidget thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't fidget, right?
Pose it up, take some pics.
Yeah, right. So I took the season 1 pre-Beskar Mando to Corpus when I went on vacation, right?
Great figure.
Loved it. Took it on the camper, took it to the beach, took it to the restaurant, and the whole time everything was fun. Like, I loved it.
Oh, no.
We do the unboxing of the Razor Crest, right? And I'm like so happy, like this thing has been with me on vacation. Now it's gonna take its rightful place in the cockpit of the Razor Crest, right?
I don't like how you said that word.
I don't like the way Ben says figure, but here we are.
Oh,
I put it in the cockpit, and I'm like filming my joy of hopping because I figured out how to add lights really easily to this ship. And I'm like, oh shit, where's this pistol at? And so I take it out, and I'm like, yo, it's definitely not rummaging around the cockpit. And I look everywhere in this house, and I know if I lost it on the trip, I would notice. Like it's just like a glaringly obvious thing that would go missing. And I guess between getting home after vacation and the unboxing, I just lost that pistol, and I have not found it yet. And it's, I don't know, I guess maybe I'm not built for TVC. Like the Black Series has that little rubber strap that goes over the pistol to hold it in.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm so bummed, but the thing is, like, now I can spend $18 to buy another Mando, right? To get another pistol, but then that Mando doesn't have he doesn't have a pistol. I don't know what to do. It's
Make
kept
a
me up at
mold,
night.
don't they sell spare parts? People sell their parts separately.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? I called Hasbro and I was like, hey, I fucked up. I lost this piece. And it took the lady like 30 minutes to find the figure. I was like, I don't know how this is so difficult. Like, I'm giving you every number on the packaging. Like, I imagine you look it up. You guys make thousands of toys. Got to have something you can just look this bad boy up, right? She's like, okay, well, she's like, as a one-time courtesy, because it's technically not really our fault or the retailer's fault, I'm going to send you another one, right?
Well,
and I'm like, fuck yes. Perfect, right? I get the package yesterday. On Memorial Day, no less. Very shocking. And it was a Mission Fleet fucking... just totally the wrong thing. It was like...
So did you call back to tell her she sent you the wrong one?
I did, but they're like, well, if it's out of stock, we just kind of send you whatever. It's whatever the warehouse picks. Like,
just whatever.
So does this mean you've been...
Are they new, bro? Are
that happened to me. With the... I mean, I know this is a cold open, but that happened to me with the Marvel Legends Deadpool. I was missing... He's supposed to have a knife on his boot. And mine's just gone. It doesn't even have the sheath. And they were like, well, that figure's out of stock.
That.
So if you send it to us, we're just going to send you a random Marvel Legends. I was like, but this is the one I bought. Why would you send me a random one? They're like, sorry.
Dude, it happened to me in what was it, when Force Awakens came out, 2014, whatever year that was. I bought a Stormtrooper, the First Order Stormtrooper, back when, before they were shit. And I noticed he was missing a knee pad or a shoulder pad. I don't remember which one. I was so excited to find it, I didn't notice it in the packaging. And I was like, what the fuck? So I sent it back. And like a month later, I got a G.I. Joe. It was fucking horrible.
Moral of the story. Does that mean you were pistol whipped?
Well.
Yes.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of lore gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Ben.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank our friends over at 1/6 Corner for sponsoring this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. Guys, do not forget to use code CW10, that's capital Z, C, capital W, 10 during our live recording for 10% off all in-stock items. Make sure you go over to 16corner.com.
We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. Obviously, with Star Wars Celebration in the books, we got a lot to talk about from there. We got a lot of new hot toys that showed up right before the convention and during. But before we get into all that, Dean, all the goofs, gaffs, and laughs, we have a very special segment that we kick off all the best shows.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week? So, I bought a figure on a whim because I'm on a Batman kick, and I'd never seen this character before, and I watched a toy review on it, and I fell in love. It's the Batman Beyond Batwoman, unmasked. I watched a review on Anthony's Customs, and he actually really liked it. It comes with some cool boot effects that fit into my Cad Bane really well because his are on the foot, on the toe. So it's just very cool. It comes with wings. I took the wings off. Comes with a batarang. But it was on sale on Amazon for $10 and I got it the next day. And so I really like it. I'm a sucker for a lady in black with short hair. So I got that. And also, I got a text message from Rainer, sweet Rainer. Randomly, he was like, "Hey man, I got you." I was like, "What did you get me?" And he sent me a picture of a PS5. And I've been searching for one. Right, dude? I've been looking for one, and dude, it's been almost 2 years. I still can't find them. It's the disc version, which is the one you want, because you could buy used games and not get stuck paying the overpriced shit on fucking PSN. And he bought it on base, so it's tax free. $480. So I got a fucking hell of a deal. So shout out Rainer. I don't really have anything to play on it yet. I just PS4 games that you fucking poured over.
At 60 frames though, sometimes that's enough.
Oh my god, bro.
Get
You're
that
not
Miles,
kidding.
bro. Get that Miles Morales game, dude. It's dope in that.
Yeah, I gotta borrow it from Rainer. He said I could borrow it. So yeah, that was really cool. So luckily I was able to port over my save from Elden Ring, so I didn't have to restart. But man, the difference in frame rate is very noticeable.
You can never go back to 30 at this point.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. So yeah, that was I was very fortunate enough to get that. I felt like I was gonna say something else, but I forgot what it was. But I'm very happy. So that was my new this week. What about you guys?
Ben, what'd you get?
So I was stoked. I got the Exo 6 data, which I've been waiting for a while. Now, it was actually one of our chat members who got it in my hand. So that was Scott Bradley, or I think you call him Big Peps.
Big Peps, baby.
Yeah, so he had heard the pain that I had on the channel talking about how I'd missed this figure. And he reached out and he basically gave it to me for retail, which was very, very generous of the guy because honestly, like, this guy's going for way over that already. So, and he's sweet. He's easily one of my favorite figures in the collection. And I know we're going to get into Exo 6 a little bit later in the show, so no spoilers. But I'm very, very happy to have a Commander Data in my collection.
Yeah, this figure, the sculpt looks better than the packaging.
Yeah, you mentioned that,
like,
and it's true, eh?
Like maybe it's just like the shadowing on the sculpt or something on the packaging, but I was like, oh, that looks really bad. And then you posted a picture of the sculpt. I was like, wait a minute, that actually looks pretty decent. Like, I forget the actor's name, but like I know Data, and like that's
Brent Spiner, and then this is the other head sculpt here. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's a bit washed out, but
nailed it.
This is like the
absolutely
kind of the
nailed
regular.
it.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm stoked about him. So, and the accessories that he comes with are really cool. And like he's got like a magnetized holster for his phaser and for his tricorder and stuff like that. So just like I was super nerding out, And tomorrow's my birthday, so it was like kind of my early birthday present from Shauna, which was cool. So
happy early birthday!
Happy early birthday! How old are you gonna be?
Yeah, I'm turning 35. 35
Jesus
years young.
Christ! I thought you were like 25, bro.
Jesus,
Yeah, bro, you got a baby face, dude.
I don't have any kids, so it keeps me young, I think.
How
so.
dare you? How dare you, Ben? That was a veiled shot.
Yeah, and Shauna's only 27, so I got to keep looking, youthful
Jesus
for her. I
Christ,
cut out all the gray
speaking
today
about
for you
kids.
guys.
Speaking about kids, jeez, the Canadians and their kids, John. Jesus Christ.
That's awesome. But yeah, thanks for that, guys.
John, Marco, Sean, you guys got anything new this week?
No.
I pre-ordered some stuff that we'll talk about later, from the con. No real action figures. I definitely got some stuff from the con that maybe I'll do like a haul post of or unbox it, but show it on Club or something. But I spent most of my week just having fun, so not getting much figures in.
Hell yeah, we need that recap video, baby. I got from Pop Culture the Hot Toys Newt Scamander. We unboxed it yesterday on Unboxing. I don't know if maybe my first copy was just kind of a lemon, but I feel like the posability on this is much better than the first one that I had. The first one, I could not even move the arms at all. It just felt like it was going to rip the undershirt of the suit. So much happier with this copy of the figure. I did not get the exclusive like I had last time, which is kind of lame. You missed out on the Niffler from the first movie, but all in all, a really great sculpt, a really great figure, and getting it for like less than half retail shipped across the world is a pretty insane deal. So I was looking at the Grindelwald, and I'm tempted about it, but the leather pants on it kind of scare me a bit long term. But it's, same thing, half retail. So it's definitely tempting, and I do want to get some Johnny Depp support there in the collection. So I think that's all I got this week. So let's go straight into the news. We're starting with Commander Appo by Hot Toys. This one comes with the Bark Speeder. It retails for $5.15, releasing April to September 2023. If you're not a fan of Clone Wars, you probably have no idea who Appo is. If you've seen Revenge of the Sith, which I imagine everyone here has, he's the guy that points the rifle at Bail Organa in the Jedi Temple, and gives him the one-liner. It's like, "It's time for you to leave, sir." And he's also in Clone Wars. His helmet's quite a bit different. Has an arrow facing downwards. It's supposed to be like a reference to Appa from The Last Airbender. This look for him is kind of completely made up. I don't think in canon you ever see him wearing the pauldron, but he's also a big part of the Rise of Darth Vader novelization, which is not canon, it's Legends, but it's a very, very good read, and he plays he's basically like Vader's left-hand commander in that book. I do not like, though, the fact that you're not able to get Appo separately. It's been a big complaint on the groups, and I think putting it behind a $200-300 paywall to get it, I think is kind of weird. It's not really a crazy custom clone commander. Like, I'm sure you could buy the pauldron separately and just toss it on your normal 501st Trooper, and then add the comma and the pistols. But this is one, same as the next figure we'll talk about, that I really wish was offered separately on its own. But the price at $5.15, to me, like both of these prices for this figure and the next one, to me, I really think that we talked about it last week. If we ever got a Hot Toys Vulture, it's going to be insanely expensive. If a clone and a bike is $5.15, I just can't see us getting, those more deluxe 3-4 foot wingspan figures for really any less than $600-700, like I said last week. Dean, you're a big fan of Commander Appo. I know you have a custom of him in your collection that I made. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a really cool to see. Like you said, in the Clone Wars, he doesn't look like this. He just is a regular 501st trooper with the arrow. And in the movie, he doesn't even have the arrow. So this look for him, I think, is only in like the 3 3/4 inch figures. I think.
You're right.
But like you said, you never actually see him like that. But you did a custom, and it basically looks like this, but it has the arrow, and also the correct color pouches. These are wrong. Even if you're basing it on the 3 3/4 inch figure, they're not just white. It's like blue, black, and blue. So like this fucking thing is all over the place. It's like you said, you gotta buy the speeder to get it. I'll stick with my custom. I like, as much as I do want this, it's not worth it to me, considering I already have a pretty decent representation in the shelf. So yeah, I don't know. I like it, but I don't feel like you should be tripping over yourself to get it, because you could technically call that any clone. You could just say clone commander.
Yeah. Quickly, Nicolio says Darth Maul and Sith Speeder was $405 on Sideshow. This price seems slightly out of proportion, and he agrees with us that he doesn't look like this. Real quick, let me address the chat before John gives his take. We got Toy Mafia, Eddie, Aero Maestro, Tukatri, and Ninja Squirrel. PT Works, Equan, Dennis Perez, Lane Kramer, Ben Thomas. We got John in the chat. Mexican Bastard. Wow. What's up, people? Vane21. We got Equan. Also, Tukatri, Robin Bowman, Michael Mann, Mojo Z78. Love to see it. DJ Brendan Riley. Loves the facial hair we got going on here. Love to see it. We got Rainer in the chat. S Beam. He wants the OG, the next generation uniforms. Very cool. Loco Lou, sweet guy. C-Ram 6-scale reviews. Love to see the peers in the chat there. John, what do you think about this?
I think this is a really cool release. I never dabbled in the Clone Wars yet, but I'm a sucker for vehicles, and I think this looks really cool. Yesterday, Danny unboxed his Stap, Anakin and Stap, and that turned out beautifully. So I can only imagine the detail that's going to go behind this. Engineering-wise, it looks great so far. I guess we'll dabble a little bit more in some photos that we have. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I think it's cool. I'm not going to jump on the pre-order right away. I think it is a little bit on the pricey side. But again, it's innovative, right? They're changing their plans, because I'd like to know why now Howard's kind of diverting from his original statement that he did in the Milk magazine, where the interview, I think a couple of years ago, where he says he wasn't going to be touching any more vehicles, Star Wars vehicles in particular. So he's kind of veering away from that decision, which is good to see, because I think vehicles add to your display. It's going to take up a lot of space, but I'm all for it. I hope he keeps it up and keeps giving us these kind of things. Try to work on a little bit more of an affordable price, but that incline is there, so I'm not surprised by it. But yeah, for me, I would. It's something I'd pick up. I'd like to see it in hand, but it's definitely on my list.
I'll hop in just because I saw this here. This thing is huge in person. I know Nicolio said, that the Darth Maul with Speeder was 405 and this is 5 whatever. Size-wise, comparing the two, because I have the Darth Maul as well, comparing it to this one, I mean, that's peanuts compared to this one. This one was actually like, seeing it in person, I was like, the first thing I said was holy shit, that's huge. I guess I know what the price. I definitely agree. I wish they would have had single packs as well, especially because the speeders are so similar. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about the next one next, but I don't know if I need a one with a sidecar and one solo, to put next to each other. Like, it'd be nice if they had, maybe the one with the sidecar and then a single pack or something like that. I don't know why they did it that way, but it is what it is. So, in person, it definitely looks impressive. It's huge. The weathering's good, at least on the prototype that I saw. And yeah, highly detailed. I don't know if I'll be adding it. I usually get all the clones, but size-wise and all that stuff, I'm definitely thinking I'm going to wait on this one. But, I definitely want to add this to my collection. Hopefully one day, maybe part it out, or I'll probably end up printing, or who am I kidding? But it definitely looks great in person.
And I'll hold my comments until we talk about the one with the sidecar.
Just briefly, in this photo, we also get a look at the clone ATRT, which is really neat. And I understand that the 501st Legion is like obviously the fan favorite. But to me, this one in particular kind of stands out because, again, Apo's not really ever seen like this. Like it could be any generic clone commander, but if you're gonna make this bike, I don't understand why they wouldn't make Neo. He rides this exact speeder, swap the helmet out and give us another clone commander. I guess, again, Anakin, troop building, 501st, like people love the 501st, but I can't see them releasing that many BARC speeders, and it would give us another canon on-screen trooper commander, which I think would go really nicely to start filling out with the rest of the clone commanders that we have already.
Yeah. What about you, Ben?
I think for me, honestly, I it stands out. I wouldn't have the space in my collection for it, truthfully. I try and stick to the figures mostly, but I'm definitely stoked for the folks who are looking forward to this entry, and I really like the figure base on it. I like the way that the stand looks, like the Rocky Rebel. I think if you can kind of tuck the leg in a certain way, you can make it look like it's literally just hovering there. I think that's pretty cool. So I think this is an overall decent value for kind of what you're getting, especially if you're excited for it.
Definitely. Now, they also announced alongside this one the Heavy Weapons Clone Trooper, which is another kind of officer-style clone. This one comes with a BARC speeder also, but it now includes the sidecar. And looking at this clone, I feel like that's like the same harness that Neo wears over the shoulder. So to me, that's just even more reason why they should have made a Neo clone commander. Again, 501st. Yeah, I guess that's what they're going for. With this one, you get the satchel. It doesn't show any grenades, so I imagine you would get some if it's the heavy weapons clone trooper, because outside of the BARC speeder, he just comes with the normal pistol and the DC-17S, so I'm not exactly sure what makes him the heavy weapons clone trooper. But this one's kind of neat. You can have another clone riding in that sidecar. It's expensive. It's $610, so another $90 for the sidecar. And this one is releasing in the same time frame, April to September 2023. You also get another look at the ATRT here. And I think these might be the normal battle droids. I know they were kind of shown in some, I think at the convention, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know. I like the BARC speeder as much as the next guy, but it's kind of weird to come out with two kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm also just kind of annoyed that they reused Cody's helmet, because like the whole fucking point was like Cody's was very unique to him.
It's the second time they've done this.
Yeah, it's like throwing Rex's helmet on some guy. Like they made their own fucking helmets. Like I don't know. This is cool. Again, it's a very cool display. It's a cool option. I could make the argument getting the Apo is a better decision because he's like an actual character. This is just like a guy, and it's more expensive to get him, and he's a no-name clone. So I don't know. These prices are just getting fucking crazy, and I just don't see the appeal.
And Dean, can I go off of what you're saying there with the no-name clone? I think the problem I have is that it just all feels very generic, right? And it's really cool, and I'm glad that they're giving us more options. But if you're going to ask top tier dollar, like these should be iconic vehicles. And I'm struggling to think of what I'd want instead, but I just feel like for that price, it should be something that's iconic. And if it's generic, then it makes it seem a bit more passable. But it seems like there's a lot of folks that are excited for it.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, like I do want an Apo, but like the price is kind of high. But I have the decision, right, to make like how bad do I want Apo? But this is like it's just a dude. It's just another clone. I don't know who the fuck it is, you know.
Yeah, we can always throw Apple on here after, no?
Yeah, but then you don't have that. You don't have anything riding that bike. The thing is, you're paying $610, and then you got to pay another $260 for someone to ride, ride bitch in it.
I don't get how you're paying
$800,
an extra $100 for a sidecar.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
I find people losing their mind with some of the prices we're getting in the community.
But John, it swivels.
It swivels. I don't care if this thing can start its engines.
It's better for that price.
Well,
Even
if it started engines, then
it looks good though. I'm not gonna take that away. This in hand will look epic.
Amazing.
If your goal is to kind of recreate, and again, I haven't watched Clone Wars like consecutively, but I've seen some to kind of recreate those scenes. Yeah, this is hands down what you're gonna want to get these sets. But the price point, man. How do you build? You know what I mean? Like, how do you build these scenes when you're asking $610 for the vehicle with the sidecar, and then the other one's $5, and then the stap is another $4, and it gets to be a lot.
OG fans, but the $1,000 Joker is a good deal. But that's an iconic character from an iconic franchise, and arguably, and
you're getting
pains
2
me
figures.
to say this. Yeah,
You're getting 2 figures and a diorama.
And
I think
and a
$1,000
diorama
is
in
high.
diecast, not just
yeah.
plastic.
I think $1,000 is high for what it's worth, but I also think this is very high. Like, without a doubt. I think both are pretty high.
They're both.
What do you think? What are you feeling like it should have been? Like, what would you have said? That's the perfect price point for this.
I think first and foremost, not to repeat myself, but I think this should have been a generic Bark speeder. You could have put this with any clone that you had. I think it should have been released separately. I think you would be paying what is this, $610 for both. I would like to see this at $450. I know that would never happen, $500 maybe, but $610, and then you still have to add another $250 figure to it to make it kind of what it's supposed to be. That seems like quite a bit. And they're releasing they're now releasing different clones that are plain white clones, or different when Cody was announced, there was like the airborne trooper, like all kinds of different troopers from his legion and other troopers from other legions. I think having it as the 501st colors, I think is going to hurt this from being a part of more people's collections, even though obviously 501st is the most popular legion. But because what is let me look this up real quick. What is the price of the tumbler?
I just pulled it up. I just pulled up the tumbler. That's what I was about to say.
We're on the same fucking.
We're on the same track. The tumbler.
$630, and that fucker.
Damn.
And obviously, Sean, you said this is
it's
quite
massive.
Large. It's huge, and I understand. Not to go against what I said a few weeks ago, but obviously with the tumbler, they have the molds, they have the engineering, they've done all the work. They just have to make the thing again. But it's hard to compare $630 in today's dollars, which is obviously a little bit higher than when it first came out, to this. It was $470 when it first came out. It's $630 now.
Same with the Batpod.
I don't think that I think you're getting a lot more for $20 more. Granted, of course, with the tumbler, you're still also having to buy a $300 figure to go inside of it.
Bro, I bought my first car for less than this.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Did it work for more than a day, bro?
It didn't, but still. I sold it.
It did not have an engine, but still.
And it's not to take away from it. This is going to look beautiful, but I just think, damn, it's a little...
Dean had to pay $200 for someone to sit in the passenger seat, too. So.
Yeah, I mean, just to echo everything that everybody's saying, I think it looks phenomenal. It's huge in person. I just don't know why they didn't give us the option to like buy the troopers separate. You know what I mean? Like, or sure, have this generic one be separate, and then have the commander or whatever come with this, or vice versa, or some amalgam of it. But to release 2 figures that are paywalled behind 2 different Bark speeders is kind of crazy.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I don't know, but it's great. Looks great, but we'll see.
So OG fans say, so Tumbler and Batman are 1K. That's a deal? You can't compare. I don't think you can compare the size of the point we're getting at is the size of the Tumbler. How massive that is. This is large, but lengthwise, the Tumbler
is
with
massive. I mean, it's just the amount of material that you're getting.
100%.
Engineering, parts and everything. I mean, this looks fantastic, and obviously they have to basically build this from the ground up. They're not just remolding stuff. God damn, that's a lot. Now the DeLorean, I think someone was asking, the DeLorean is $825, which is expensive.
But that has lights and stuff.
That's
huh?
a full vehicle, man. Not even.
Yeah.
Not
so
even.
I think the comparison gets a little muddier because even when that came out, we're like, how is this $825 when the Tumbler is $630? So
Yeah.
the prices are all over the place.
But not only that, I mean, when Danny unboxed his Mandalorian Scout Trooper on the speeder bike, that was like a very delicate process he had to do. It's not like these things are built like actual tanks.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, not that you should be manhandling your shit, but it's like, bro, if you gotta have like dainty little hands to set these things up, like this price point is to me, it just doesn't add up.
And can I say one more thing on price really quick? Because I know that's a sensitive topic right now, but we all lie to ourselves and overpay for everything if we really want it that much, right? So
100%.
You know, so I don't think anyone should take offense to us being like, it's a little high for our opinion. But
yeah, I paid
if you
mucho
like
dinero for that Razor Crest, like way more than the
Marco
retail
is
offer.
100%. We're just here to kind of give the generic feelings that we feel. But if this is what you've been waiting for in your collection, no one gives you the right to say, well, it's too expensive.
Yeah, and OG Fan makes a great point. The point I'm making is that it's Batman and Tumbler for $1,000 or the $1,000 Joker for some, and that the Star Wars is the iconic piece for others. 100%. I just don't think that the Bark Speeder, to me, like honestly, I never knew there was a sidecar with the Bark Speeder. To be completely honest, I've also never seen this clone in particular. Granted, I'm not analyzing every single scene of Clone Wars. This is kind of out there for me. And like I said, especially when you're at 1K, to put another trooper in there, maybe not 1K, but close to it, I don't love it. There's a look at the trooper there again. That I did look it up. That is Neo's harness that he's wearing. So it kind of strikes me as a bit odd that this wasn't a Neo. And yeah, I agree with everything you guys have said. Now, these are really cool. This is the... It was the Star Wars Celebration exclusive, but it's one of those releases where, you know, different markets will have other opportunities to purchase it. Sort of like Toy Fair exclusives that kind of hit Sideshow at some point. Now, these were locked behind a little card that you would get at the booth. It would have a code. It would unlock the website. But the figure I'm talking about is the Hot Toys Death Trooper Black Chrome version. This one released for $245, and they also released a Clone Trooper Chrome version for $275. And both of those are July to December 2022. Some people thought it was kind of out of left field, but if you look at what a lot of the different Star Wars collectibles have been doing, with Star Wars you have, you know, the credits collection, which I think is a really neat thing. I didn't like it at first, but the more I see it, the more I like it. And then you also have carbonized. So for me, this is kind of in that same vein as what we've been getting in other scales, just like the Hot Toys version. And we've seen stuff like this at other conventions. There's been the copper gold Stormtrooper, the yellow gold Stormtrooper, the teacup Stormtrooper, all kinds of different variations. So they seem to be using these sort of troop building type things to do these different chrome versions. And I think they look great. I think with the Death Trooper, everyone knows what to expect with that figure. I think this is now the third time you've been able to get one, maybe the fourth time. But it's the standard Death Trooper in this black chrome. I think the black chrome suits this figure very well. It looks, you know, I would say, you know, I haven't seen it in person, but from these photos, it doesn't really look that much different from the normal Death Trooper. And then we have the clone Chrome Trooper, which to me is just absolutely show-stopping. I mean, that thing looks insane in all the photos that we've seen.
It's beautiful.
What were you going to say, Dean?
The Death Trooper, isn't that the heavy Death Trooper helmet? Wasn't there like something different on it?
I think it's the Specialist and then the normal Death Trooper. I think this is the normal helmet because the one that I had the pauldron, but he didn't have this little optical attachment there. Okay. But yeah, there's been, with the different releases, they've added and taken away different rifles or different, you know, little attachments or pauldrons. And I'm noticing now this one doesn't even have the grenade vest, so that's interesting. But the Death Troopers are
the Specialists.
Yeah, the Death Troopers are such a huge part of canon now. They're basically like the
they're coming back
Secret Service. Yeah, so to see more releases for that is great. And the Chrome Clone Trooper just, to me, is probably the most stunning thing that Hot Toys, in my opinion. It's not really like a canon thing, but it just like this hits the mark for me much more than any of the Neon Tech stuff ever has. This is beautiful. The chrome and some of the photos that I've seen just look absolutely fantastic, and I'm curious to see who on the panel picked these up and your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I really like this. This reminded me of the gold chrome Stormtrooper. And people love those figures. Those things still go for quite a bit, even if you can find them. I haven't seen one for sale in a while. We were also talking about the porcelain. It looked like fine china Stormtrooper. Those are beloved, and I feel like these are gonna fit right into that market. I personally didn't get one. If I could, I'd probably get this one, not the Death Trooper, because I love clone troopers, and this one looks fucking sick. I feel like if I could get my hands on it, I probably will, and I think you should too.
Yeah,
even if maybe you're not a huge Clone Wars
fan. These two are stunning. I'd love the chrome. I think that's different. I hope it comes. I really hope it delivers. So far from what I'm seeing, even in the photos I've seen from Celebration, it looks amazing. But I think as the Toy Fair, like the Celebration exclusives, I think it's a bit of a gimmick, if I'm going to be honest. I think they really could have used that opportunity to give us like something different. I don't know, an Obi-Wan exclusive. Like they used to with these Toy Fairs. They used to give us like a nice figure. They had Two-Face, or they had the original, I think one of the Batman Begins figures was a toy. Like they had Maria Hill, stuff like that. Something different, not just a simple repaint. These look gorgeous, and they're going to be gorgeous. They're going to look amazing in your collections. Huge shout out to everyone who got one. I'm considering the Trooper as well, because I'm sure it's going to hit Sideshow site any day now. But I just think as an exclusive, we should have just got something more than just a repaint, in my opinion.
Yeah, almost like the armor. Maybe not necessarily like a heavy hitting character, but a character that you probably want in the collection at some point.
And not only that,
I agree. It's a little gimmicky, but I mean,
stick
that's kind of
to
the point.
Stick to the exclusive. Only at the toy show. Only at the toy show. That's it. Now they're going to bring it to Sideshow site, like they do everything else. That's a little iffy.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'll jump in. So, I mean, I think I like these being exclusive because, well, depending on how exclusive they are, because they're not something you need for your collection. They're just nice to have. You know what I mean? I was there in person. I bought the Dark Side Anakin. I saw everybody freak the fuck out about it, and then they put it up on there. So it's like, do you want a super duper key character to be sort of behind a paywall? Yes. I mean, it benefits the people that want to flip it for sure, but for the John, everyday collector.
And can I tear off of that? It's going to be Celebration's going to be in London next year, right? So if that sets kind of a dangerous precedent, if it's a figure you really want and you can't afford to go to London, it kind of stink. So
okay.
Anyways, go ahead, Sean.
So even if, sorry, Sean, let me just say something. Even if we don't do it where we set it to just the con, right? So these are two figures that not very important. They could have easily set it just to the con for the importance of the exclusive. So let's remove that concept. Give us key characters then and do something different. Here you're burning the candle at both ends. You're not giving us key characters and you're not keeping it as a con exclusive. So at least choose one or the other. Don't shaft it completely. That's just my take.
No, I mean, I get it. And I still think that we'll have a Toy Fair with those Toy Fair exclusives that, you'll be able to get on Sideshow that will be, figures or variants of figures and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. But as far as these two figures go, this one is definitely the showstopper. The Clone Troopers definitely looks amazing in person. I picked up two of these because you can have a Phase 1 helmet and you can have a Phase 2 helmet. So I wanted to get two. The Death Trooper also looks amazing in person. Not as good as this one, but it's hard to get pictures of that clone of that color, I guess, because some of the official pictures make it look almost like a gray, and it's not really a gray. I mean, it's a lighter black, but it's a black chrome. I think someone was saying it might be like that exclusive Armored Batman Batfleck Batman that had like the black chrome color. I think someone was saying it kind of looks like that if you have that. But yeah, both of these are great. They look phenomenal in person. It's especially this one, the quote unquote best car, really pops. It's very shiny. Yeah, looks amazing in person. So definitely for those that got that, you'll enjoy this for sure. Highly recommend it.
Yeah,
Are you guys worried about any like chipping issues on the chrome though? Sorry to interrupt, Marco. Just like in terms of like the finish itself, would there be any concern there? Do you guys think? Or
I mean, maybe. I mean, there's always a concern, but I have the gold one as well. I really haven't had any chipping issues on that one. I don't know if I've seen any chipping issues like on the Beskar Mandos or anything like that. So I don't know off the top of my head. Zach would probably be one to answer that because he knows all this material stuff better than we all do.
100%. What were you going to say, Marco?
I thought Zach was saying something, but
yeah, sorry. What was that question one more time, Ben?
I just said, like, do you think there'd be any concern on the chrome finish? Because I know that when the
Yeah.
Chrome Mando was released, there was a little bit of that concern, and then this guy's like fully chrome, so
Yeah. It depends. Like Sean said, it's kind of hard to see from the photos if it's that same vac metallized chrome like the retro sneaky or the gold chrome and the chocolate gold figure. If it is, 100%. Like I would be very cautious when touching it. I don't really normally, wash my hands before I touch a figure or wear gloves, but I would highly recommend it because the oils in your fingers will eat away at that chrome.
That's good advice.
But yeah, it's going to definitely be something out the baby. When you're articulating it, you're going to want to watch out for things rubbing. So it's definitely something to consider.
And I guess I'll just say I had to snag that Death Trooper. That looked phenomenal to me. I don't have a Death Trooper in the collection, so figured he looked really great next to Moff Gideon. I'm sleeping a bit on this Clone Trooper, and I probably will regret that, but when it eventually, hopefully, drops on Sideshow, maybe trickles down to an LCS and I can pick it up for, I know this came with no shipping cost, but I was being cheap and trying to get it for no tax as well. So hoping that that's the case, and I definitely would pick one up if they're more readily available. But shout out to everyone who provided a code or offered a code. I won't name any names so GG doesn't go after them, but really appreciated that. So
I'm almost exactly the same way, dude. I went with the Death Trooper myself, mostly because I already had the black Shadow Trooper, which obviously it's a different style of armor. But it was a deterrent for me to get the black Death Trooper, even though I love that style and that outfit look, or that uniform, but that armor set. But I think with just that little subtle change on the Death Trooper, it looks really, really sweet. So yeah, I went Death Trooper as well. And I am gonna sleep on this guy a little bit because I've been considering getting the chromed out Mando. So I don't want to have too much chrome in my collection. I kind of want that to be a popper. So
just get rid of Phasma if you have her.
Don't have Phasma.
Okay, good.
Don't have
Good
Phasma.
for you.
Anyone else? No, we're good. All right. Now, Hot Toys did also show the Bad Batch teaser. We do have some photos from Celebration of... I don't think they showed Tech at Celebration, if I'm not mistaken, but they did show Rekka and Crosshair, so we'll have some photos of that soon. We'll move on, though. Anart did show a teaser, 2 photos of their Pennywise 1/6 scale figure. Now, these were listed on the... I think it was like a phase 1, phase 2 list that they put out, and it's interesting because I want to say it was QMX. I don't know if they actually released the Pennywise, but they had a prototype going pending licensor approval, and then Hot Toys kind of came in and I don't want to say stole the license, but they made their figure, and it was released. It's a fairly good figure. A lot of people had some complaints with the weathering. Now Queen is coming out, so it's going to be really interesting to compare 1-to-1 what Queen is making versus what Hot Toys has made, because that one I think came out fairly recently, a few months ago. There's another look there at the SS Georgie with a Here Take It, and I'm very excited to see about that. I'm actually messaging John right now, so I may have a little bit of a nugget of information. I just want to make sure I'm clear to share that with you. But I'll let you guys talk about this, and I'm gonna hit up John real quick, and we may have some updates on some previously discussed things.
I know nothing about Pennywise. I don't watch those movies. But he seems to be like one of those characters people really love, whether it's the original one or from the remake. Hot Toys took so long to release theirs that it's kind of weird that no one else kind of took advantage of that. I guess maybe they couldn't, like you said, for licensing stuff. But to see InArt come out with one or to tease one it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, we're not limited to just waiting until Hot Toys decides to fucking release theirs instead of pushing it back over and over again. I guess we'll see if this ever actually comes out or they put it up for order. Again, they don't really have a track record in 6 scale yet. So I don't really know what to expect, but I do like to see it.
I'm not a horror guy and not a Pennywise guy either. Yeah, we saw the Hot Toys one. A lot of people in the community flabbergasted that we're seeing this from them, which I don't get how they are, because we've talked about it, I think on 2 episodes ago or so. They gave us our 2022, their release plan, and this was on it. So we knew this was coming. Do we need it? I don't think so. A lot of people want some new releases, new figures, new characters made. I can see the argument there, but I don't know. I don't know why they're going with Pennywise. There's a lot of Pennywise fans. I know people who picked up the Hot Toys one were really happy with it. So I don't know what they're gonna do to top that. Probably gonna be rooted hair. We'll see. The fabric, the tailoring on the clothing. If it's gonna be, I don't even remember the Hot Toys one, but how it will compare. That's what I'm excited to see, is just the skills and how they're going to be able to compare to the Hot Toys version. But no, I have no interest in this whatsoever.
So you'd assume if Hot Toys is coming out with this one, sorry Ben, I'm just going to go for it. So if Hot Toys is coming out, if InArt is coming out with this, then they really think that theirs is superior to Hot Toys and that they can kind of blow them away. If this is the 3rd figure that they're teasing, right, out of their line, obviously they've given us the full lineup, but so it's kind of a peculiar choice in my mind, but that gives me a lot of confidence that this is going to be a really strong release when we finally see more of it. So really, really intrigued. But I think, like John was saying, I would have been, or as some folks are saying, I would have been more intrigued to see like a Paul Atreides kind of pushed to the front. So we, something that we haven't seen a figure from just yet. We've seen some statues, but something that would be a little more different, that doesn't have a direct competitor with Hot Toys. But yeah, they must think it's a really, really solid figure for them to, have it be the number 3 that they're leading with at this point.
I'm going to echo what other people are saying. Like, I get that this was on their release list, but I feel like that the release list was like the same person voting, 10,000 times to get like the figures he wants on there, because like you're saying, I don't know what they're going to do to chop the Hot Toys one. I mean, I think maybe Tukatri in the chat today said the weathering or something like that, but like every picture I've seen of the Hot Toys one looks phenomenal. I haven't seen any bad, sort of remarks about the, anything really. It's been, as far as I can tell, a stellar release. I don't own it, but horror's not my thing. So yeah, I just don't know why. I mean, I know why they're doing it because they said we're going to do it and it was voted on, but like, yeah, I don't know. I would hope to see something new, something fresh that we don't have a figure of. Like, at least with the Joker, it was filling a hole in a lot of people's collections that hadn't, got the 2.0 or 1.0 whatever from Hot Toys. The Gandalf, similarly, everybody was still looking for, and maybe still looking, Zach, sorry, for that sort of ultimate Gandalf figure that you could have, and that is the one. Versus this Pennywise one, it's like, well, we already kind of got it, so like, I guess it's cool that there's direct competition, but at the same time, it's like, maybe do Pattinson Batman first and then this afterwards, or something like that. So For those Pennywise, ultimate Pennywise fans that love this and want to have multiple on their shelf, I'm happy for you for sure. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I hope they knock it out of the park because more competition is good. So. Yeah.
I'd be worried though. This is just kind of like a rinse and repeat feeling for a lot of collectors. It is for me at least. Like, I thought the Hot Toys version was really good, at least in terms of what I know of the movie and the character. The figure base that it came with, with the sewer grate and the water that you could put the head sculpt in, that was really cool. I'm worried that Queen is going to give us this figure with some hair rooting and some magnets, and it's going to be an extra $200, and it's going to make people feel like they're forced to kind of consider it. At least when it came to the Joker, the Heath Ledger Joker likeness on their version versus the DX11 from 10 years ago was such an insane difference that people were hurting for that figure, right? They're aching for it. Ew. But is this a figure that people are aching for at this point?
I don't think so, bro.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
DJ says so. Limited edition run of 1 with Will Foxification being the only one. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just hope it's not that kind of a markup. At least if they're gonna release this figure so close to the Hot Toys release, then make it basically the same price and try and steal some of that business away without having to pay a marked up price on it. Because otherwise, I think the Hot Toys one is perfect for your collection for anybody who wants this guy.
I think Bob Dylan said it best. This is probably what they're gonna do. Buys the hot toy, roots the hair, and throws some magnets on the base, and upcharges $250.
Now I did mention. I mentioned last week, but there's a chat with a lot of the content creators, and John is kind of like the, it's not really like a chat where we talk day to day, but John will drop in hey, this is happening, and I did get permission to share this information with you guys here today. But he messaged us a few minutes ago and said, hey, everybody, in June, we're expecting 2 releases, Pennywise that we teased yesterday and the Batman 1/6 scale. I asked him directly, are there any updates on Gandalf and what it'll come with? The pre-order window is closing in about 2 weeks, and I think it's important for collectors to make an informed decision as to what all it will come with and what issues, with regards to the issues we've brought up. He said, hey, Zach, for the staff, it's looking like it could be too late to change at the moment. From my understanding, we need to resubmit it for approval, and it's not looking likely that we will do it. I will confirm again on the pattern on the pants and also the exact materials that we're using for the clothing. I was told real fabric, but not a specific material. I told him I would recommend delaying this to get a full, complete Gandalf. It's an iconic accessory that honestly the figure would feel very half-baked without. And he said, I'll confirm again on the pattern of the pants, as that wasn't answered properly by the team last time I asked. For the staff, it's not looking like we'll add an additional Moria staff. For the engraving on the hilt, this will be included on the hilt. No worries, we do our best to make improvements and changes based on community feedback. I'll also see if there's a way to share the work earlier with collectors, as this will help us with changes. And then he said, once we've signed a few more licenses, we can even begin asking the community about the accessories in advance. So if you're interested in the Gandalf figure, forgot to change the slide. If you're interested in the Gandalf figure, it's looking like the pants print, they're still trying to see if they can manage that. The Glamdering staff will have the engraving, but the figure will only come with the first half of the film staff and not the Moria staff, at least at this point from what John has told us. So
Zach, I gotta say that might be like a big, if he only has the one staff, that might be a big ding to their credibility, given that they're asking for feedback, they're advertising this transparency, and then when that feedback is given, it's like, it's actually too late. Like I said, we deal with a lot of public outreach in my line of work, and a lot of the times the outreach is just kind of for the sake of doing it, and so that's kind of how it would feel if that ultimately ends up being the case.
To me, it's like we first knew about this, I want to say like 2 months ago when they showed that the 5 figures with the shadow, right? To me, that would have been the perfect time to show something, right? Mm-hmm. Because if it was at that time, maybe changes could be made. But then we saw, the next time we saw it, it was that Photoshop photo, which again, that would have been a good time to suggest changes. And then we saw it again as the render, which again, I don't know when the cutoff point to when you can't make changes. But then to show it, and immediately, the first day, I was like, bro, this is not right. that was kind of the answer then, and it's, you know, the same answer now. It's disappointing to me because, again, I don't know what the creation process for things like this goes. I don't know if they want to taint their creation process by buying another figure from another company and analyzing it, seeing what it does well, what it needs to improve on. But just something so simple as watching a review of the Asmus one, they would have noticed things like the pants, the engraving on the hilt, the two staffs. To me, that's a real bummer. I have to really consider. I will admit, I think it looks tremendous. I think I can still display it accurately.
Yeah,
as
will
the
you
first half
pre-order
of
it?
the film? Well, I'm getting there. I don't know. I have to really think about it. But it to me, it's a huge. When you're trying to make a premium figure and it's incomplete, I mean, this would be no different than Darth Vader Empire Strikes Back coming with the A New Hope lightsaber, right? It just doesn't work that way. And so
I have a pretty hot take on this.
Wow.
And only because of, like you said, it's a premium item and it costs a premium item, you know, cost. If you're going to come out with something and expect me to pay that kind of price, when there's other Gandalfs out there, and yes, they're not as good, but if it's just sitting on the shelf and I just want the representation, they're good enough. I would not reward the company with my money for releasing something that is, quite frankly, not worth the money. If you're going to leave out so much, especially after the community has come out and told you, hey, this stuff needs to be fixed. It doesn't matter if you have to push it back a month or two or however long. You need to make those changes.
Yeah, that's disappointing to me that it's like, hey, we'd have to resubmit it and we're not going to do it. It's like,
They're lazy.
Yeah, it's like, but
I mean, it's a premium product.
Yeah.
It's a very clear exclusion. It's not like, you know, it's not like we're making this up, right? Like, this is a clear.
Yeah. Tukatsu just said it. I'm not paying $500 for inaccuracy. Exactly. It's like, bro, if you're going to come to me and say, hey, I'm going to give you the best Gandalf you've ever seen, but you got to fucking pay top dollar for it. Those are some things you just have to fix. And if you're not willing to do it, I'm not giving you my money.
Can I just ask you a quick question? Because I'm not it's not that I'm not whatever. Lord of the Rings is not my forte, but
Right.
Inaccurate. This staff wasn't in the film?
It was, John, but there's a point in the movie, obviously you've seen Lord of the Rings, when he's captured at Isengard.
Yeah, and then he uses
the staff is left behind, right? So from that
so it's
point
not
on,
inaccurate. It's just
well,
it doesn't
is
have.
I guess that's a good point.
It's incomplete.
It's not that it's incomplete.
Exactly.
Is correct because in their photos they're photoshopping this glimmering light.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Showing
That's
it
where
in
they
the
screwed
iconic,
up. Yeah,
in the iconic pose. Like, to me, what's crazy to me, right, is every single Gandalf has at least had the Moria staff, right? Like the $12 Best Action Heroes one at Walmart has the Moria staff. It doesn't have the first staff because their figure is meant to be the battle scene version. It's crazy to me. Like Prime One, Infinity Studios, Sideshow Weta, like fucking 15 years ago. Every Sideshow Gandalf, both Asmus Gandalfs, like everyone's got these details right. And I don't want to repeat myself here from the video I made last week, but it's like all these companies have gotten it right. Like I just question the level of research that went into this particular figure. Like, I think the Joker, again, I said it last week, I think incredible figure. I don't even like the Joker. I think it's a fantastic figure. I think it is overpriced, but the workmanship, the diorama, the real metal bars, the real wood, fantastic, right? But I think this is sorely lacking an iconic accessory, right? Like, if you didn't give me the letter, if you didn't give me the butterfly, I could live with that. If you didn't give me the ring, I could live with that. But to me, if you're going to include glamdring, and that's, John, that's why I'm kind of saying it's inaccurate, because he never has glamdring on his person when he has this staff. He only wears glamdring basically once they begin the journey.
No, but that's a separate accessory, correct?
I mean, you could remove the sword belt and the hilt and the scabbard, I imagine, yes, but
with the glamoring,
it's
what
on
the
the
heck is it on
glamouring's
the
the sword. He has a sword with a what is it called, Dean? The sheath.
My only point is this scene with him holding the staff right now. If you have no other accessories, the staff, the hair, and the hat.
Yes, that is accurate.
That's
But
all.
you have to take off the sword belt to make it accurate. The sword belt and the scabbard sheath thing.
To make it accurate to when he had that staff.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah. So,
But then
yes,
they're
it's
including
not-
the Moria book, so it's like you're giving us the fucking book. You should.
You know what
give
it
us
is?
the
It's
staff.
they're not competing with Hot Toys on this one, right? They figure it's Asmus and
Now, John,
then they
if you're,
just got
if you're
blown out of the
listening,
water.
Yeah.
if you're listening for
Asmus came with it.
Batman, if you're listening for the Batman that's unannounced yet, go look at the Mezco 112th. Those motherfuckers, I think, put every single thing he uses in that film into that figure. It's a labor of love figure. You could tell they did their research. They got the adrenaline cartridges, the flare, like 6 fucking batarang guns. I mean, they gave you everything, and I think that's the level of accessories your figure needs to have. Now that Hot Toys has shown theirs and shown that it has most of those.
I said in another stream. I said in another stream that this was their opportunity to shine. Okay, this was their opportunity to fix the staff and shine. They didn't do it. They dropped the ball, big time. They got to smarten up. My question though is, and I want to find this out by June. What is it? June 13th, June 18th. Inaccurate Gandalf. Are you pre-ordering it? Who's pre-ordering it? That's what I want to know.
I am the biggest Gandalf fan. I will probably pre-order it because this portrait with the new photos that they've shown looks incredible. And I will probably take the sword belt off to have it as the bag-in introductory scene. But I think it's bullshit.
Of course it's
I
bullshit.
will say I've always said I'm not like the shining light that you should follow me because I will make stupid decisions like this, and I know like I
Yeah, but
preach all
you're
the time,
not.
talk
You're
with your wallet.
frugal. You're not the type of person to throw money in any particular direction when it comes to pieces. I think.
It's also one of your favorite characters of all time. Like,
I
if
mean,
you're gonna
literally.
be picky about something, that's,
That whole
that's
shelf
what you
is
should be
Gandalf
picky
stuff,
about.
so yes.
Yeah.
Zach,
that's worthy of it.
When he's Gandalf the White, does he have the Moria staff, or is it a different?
It's like a white wood with like a.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
okay.
it's and I want to say, yeah, his sheath changes to white also. It's a total, like the outfit, nothing is the same. Not even the boots. The hand wraps are gone.
So they're
It's
not
totally,
even holding
the hair's
it
different.
for that look.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I could think of, and I think John mentioned this once or twice, is what if they're holding it for a second release, which I think would be the absolute shittiest thing that they could do, where it doesn't come with the traveling cloak, maybe not the hat, but it's a little bit more battle damage sculpt wise. That would be incredibly shitty for them to do, and I hope they don't do that.
I think the rub here too is that they advertised it with the the photoshopped on light
100%.
and all that stuff. Like I think if they hadn't have done that,
100%.
we would still be having this argument, about it needs to have it and all that stuff, 100%. But the fact that they like photoshopped it and advertised it and all that stuff, it almost seems deceptive.
What staff was he holding in the Photoshop one?
It was this staff, but they added like a glimmering light effect to it.
Which means they knew.
Well, they knew that a staff lit up. I honestly don't know because I
Well,
don't
they
wanna
knew a
say
staff
that,
lit up and theirs doesn't
they
lit
knew
up.
Yes,
light
yes,
up.
yes,
yeah.
yes. I don't want to say that they're not fans of this film, but like, even if you're like a little bit of a fan, there's two staffs. Like, it's not like one of those hardcore facts like, Michael Myers, what color is the overall? So like the hardcore fans know. I think Manny said hardcore fans know they're like a forest green, something like that. Like that's a real niche thing that people don't know. This is like pretty like Darth Vader, right? Not a lot of people know the differences between the suits. People generally speaking know that there's two staffs. Like it's not a like a hidden thing at all.
I can't imagine it would cost them very much to make it as well. Like, I mean,
It's the licensing.
I think it's more the
It's the
delay
licensing.
to delay the figure, right?
Well, I was going to say, like, even if they can't delay it, like, I get that. Fair enough, I guess. Like, if they're just too far into the stages, sure. But how amazing would it be, unlike a Hot Toys or an Asmus, if they came out and said, hey, we heard you. For everybody who's pre-ordered the figure, you're going to get 50% discount on the staff, and we'll send it to you separately. Like, I know that's a hope and a dream that would never happen.
Yeah, just stick
but
it in
like,
the box. Because, okay, now...
How cool would that be?
here's the thing, right? Asmus. Okay, so we talk a lot of shit about Asmus, right? And Joe P. I'm completely with you. 100%. He says I don't get killing Hot Toys overpriced when it's a vehicle and a figure for 600, and this is over 500.
But that's why
you have to realize. You have to realize
this isn't over 500 though.
Yeah, it's about. Yeah, it's not 500, but.
And that's shipped to your house.
And this is also a rooted portrait, which costs a tremendous amount of money. Damn, I totally lost my train of thought. Damn it, Joe. Let's talk about this for a few more minutes. I got to figure out what the fuck I was gonna say.
You were gonna say you were mentioning that.
I think Dalton's
it would be
comment
cool
is
if they
pretty
threw
good.
it in the box, for example, and that Asmus
Yes,
has been
thank
pretty
you,
good.
thank you. Okay, we talk a lot of shit about Asmus. Not I, but the chat in general, and some people on the panel.
Yeah, I do.
Here's
Definitely.
the thing: Asmus put up a pre-order, right? And it was wrong. It was 100% wrong. Danny Lee, Sweet Angel, God's gift to this green earth, sent them a message privately. Said, "Hey, what you have in these photos looks great, but it's not the right bow from this film." And he said, "Here's, I don't know if he had a prop book or a costume book, and he showed them, hey, this is what it should look like." What do? They delayed the figure. They added that bow, and if I remember correctly from his unboxing, I think it was too late to redo the trays, so they just threw the bow in at the bottom of the box. To me, that's a premium experience that he had, where they addressed that a mistake was made. They fixed it. They delayed it. They didn't increase the cost. They ate the cost of adding that bow because that shit wasn't free for them to do, and they gave collectors a very accurate Elven Archer.
Yeah.
For better or worse, I think that's the way they got to do it.
I'd take a delay because it's not just one thing. It's several little small things like the pants, and they're telling Zach like, we might do the pants. I don't know. It's like what? That's.
But you'd see the staff in his hand before you'd see his pants, right? I
No,
mean,
the staff is way
wrong.
more important than the pants. The pants, I'm not concerned
I could
about
maybe
the pants.
live without the pants, but the staff's kind of
The staff has to be there. End of story.
Yeah, Danny said they stuffed it in the back.
I think they're both equally important. I mean,
Yeah.
those are his fucking pants. Like,
I think you're right, Dean. Like, especially if you're talking about the quality of the figure and that premium price point, and like having the definitive version. I agree with you on that. It's just that if they weren't going to make any other changes and they could throw a staff in the box like Danny's experience, I still think that would sit right with so many collectors, and it would be something that everybody would talk about. Like, it
Do
would
you think
be
it's a market concern? Because at the end of the day, they're not. At the end of the day, this is for the Asian market. You know what I'm saying?
But I think, John, it's also an ego thing, right? Because they've said throughout this time that they've been in the 1/6 scale game, you will not see a delay from us. If you see a delay, it's because China's shut down, or the ports are shut down, or the shipping's delayed. But we will not delay a figure. And I think part of it is that ego where they're like, hey, we could do this, but we're going to have to go back to the licensor. It's going to take more time.
Exactly.
It's going to take more research, more development on our end, and it's going to delay the figure. I just don't think they want to delay a figure, and I think it's that ego where they're coming in there like, hey, we're releasing these figures on time. They're going to be the best figures you're ever going to see. Premium experience, premium collector type feel. But they're willing to sacrifice accuracy over being on time.
But I think it's the market too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that they are listening to us over here, but they don't really give a shit. In the sense that we're not the market.
Let's
now start the DC line and the Ultra. What is his name from June?
Paul Atreides.
Paul Atreides.
Where they have the license and they can sell in North America and stuff. Then you're gonna see them.
The Batman, they're gonna get a lot of feedback if that one ain't right or complete. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just told them like, y'all
do
gotta
that
look
one.
at Hot Toys and Mezco because they got their shit fucking tight. Let's move on here because we don't have all night. I'll blow through this one quickly, but the Iron Man, aka the comic condom man from Nicholas Hendo, there were issues found in the base of the final product, and the figure was recalled. All the stock has been sent back to the factory.
Jesus.
And remember, I said last week, it was weird that we didn't see blogger photos, and this is potentially why they recalled it immediately. Taskmaster did release. Some people were saying it's a really great figure. I don't particularly care for it, but that is a thing. And I did want to spend just a bit of time here. Star Ace, Homelander, has released. We've seen some in-hand photos of them all. Did a beautiful portrait. This is one of his portraits. I believe there's 2 in the box. And look, in a little bit, we're going to talk about third party coming in when a company has a license. generally speaking, I think it's a real shitty thing. If a company's actively making figures for a product and another company's going to come in and try to snake the license, I think it's a shitty thing to do. That being said, when the license company makes shit like this, I think it's okay. Now, this is a comparison of what was released versus the prototype. And this prototype, frankly, has never looked good. When we saw it on display, I think it was at Toy Fair last year, it was kind of universally the worst figure at the entire show. And I don't think this level of sculpting detail, Dean, when we've talked to manufacturers before, they say it's about 10-15% reduction in quality is what you're happy with, right? From the master sculpt to the retail release, and right. This is like 50%. Like, this is to go from this amazing portrait by Vimal to this is absolutely terrible. And then you have the weird, which frankly this never looked good to begin with, but this weird smirking face which just looks absolutely, first grade smile terrible. You get the bleed through of the light effects, which is bad, but Hot
They're
Toys
like
did
in
also.
his tear ducts too.
Like pink eye.
Yeah, Hot Toys did have this problem once, so I don't think this is just a Star Ace thing. But then you go to the back of the portrait and you have this really great sculpted hair detail on the prototype, and on the final product you have this really nasty battery compartment cover, I imagine. To me, this is one of the worst releases I think I've ever seen. This is not an inexpensive figure. To buy this figure, it's $280 to $300 for this figure.
This is not this is the worst.
Yeah, this is terrible. And honestly, I think if you're Star Ace and you want any semblance of respect with the 1/6 community, you recall this figure, you fix this portrait. I don't know about the body or the suit, because really all we saw was this portrait, but this needs to be addressed. Because this is just absolutely terrible. These were not our photos; these were found on OSR, but they've been kind of making the rounds today. And this is just bad form from Star Ace. And we've roasted their stuff in the past, but this is like a whole nother level of bad.
Yeah, it's almost insulting as a consumer. Like, you're charging me what's for this? No, absolutely not. Because I really want a Homelander in my collection, and I've been waiting for this to come out because I wanted to see, how it's going to compare to the third party, which I'm also not happy with. But dear Lord, this looks like, honestly, like something you would find at like Walmart and like the toys for kids that shouldn't have toys yet. You know what I mean? Like the Titan 100%. Series, like. They're going to bang these things around. That's not going to last. So it's, this is bad. This is, I think Sean's right. I can't think of a worse example of like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's insulting. It really is.
All right. John, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Yeah, we want to thank 1/6 Corner. Their mission is to provide the best figures and collectibles to their customers. They offer great prices, great packaging, fast shipping, and best in the business customer service. Collecting Weekly listeners get 10% off in-stock figures while our show is live using code capital CW10. Choose your figures, pay safely with PayPal, and you can leave the rest to them.
All right. Now, before we get into Celebration, let's change galaxies, change universes. We'll go to a different Star property. Star Trek is under attack. Present Toys announced 2 figures, their Galaxy Travel figures. These are from the J.J. Abrams Star Trek remake.
Yeah, the Kelvin timeline.
Yeah, Nanjin Tam, who I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, he's the owner of XO6.
Yeah, it's like the main developer.
Main developer was very upset. So here's some of the comments he made. They're like weeds. They spread bad quality or bad experience. They will damage the name Star Trek. I have to react right from the start. The 1/6 scale Trek is a fragile license that already filled with failing traps and many disadvantages that don't exist in other franchises. If they affect the XO6 sales, they're taking the nutrition away from XO6. If Trek collectors side with them, you're throwing rocks at us while we are already walking on the edge. He has about 2,000 Chinese Star Trek fans that are joining him to root out Present Toys. He said he'll be contacting Alibaba Pictures about this tomorrow morning. They have the IP for the JJ Trek line of figures. And he goes on to say, present toys and whoever sells or buys the 1/6 scale Star Trek from them is my enemy forever. This applies to any vendors who carry our figures. Unfriend me and stay out of my sight. And if you are a vendor, then forget about working with us permanently. For those friends who are willing to support me, please share my declaration, especially if you are in the 1/6 scale communities. I think when you have a guy, a company like Exo6 that really genuinely cares about the fan feedback. Ben, I don't mean this as a shot towards you at all, but you have a small channel. You're making, you just started out, but when you have the owner of Exo6 commenting on your videos, giving you feedback, watching them, being willing to go on your program to discuss these things, that shows a love for the community, and I think it's 100%. Our responsibility to respond in turn. I do have present toys figures. The ones that I have, they're from licenses that weren't Django. No one's making Django figures. The Godfather figures, we've talked about in the past. Stealing from an unlicensed sculpt maker, questionable morality. I don't think I'm on the right side of it, but whatever. In this case, they have such a love for this property, for the collectors, for the community. I don't know that they are making these figures at any point, but I do believe it's a plan for them to make these eventually. They just haven't gotten to it yet with some of the more iconic Star Trek stuff that they would like to make first. But I have no problem with this. I think he's a very defensive of his license. He doesn't want a inferior product to be put out. And even though these are my personal favorites, one of my favorite versions of these characters, just based on this, I personally would not be purchasing this because of the things that he said. What do you guys think? This is a little bit different than the normal things we discuss with these third-party companies. This is the actual license holder being very upset about this being done. Curious to hear y'all's takes.
Yeah, I think he made a good point about this 1/6 Star Trek market being kind of fragile, because really it was who made the Picard? XQC, or what were they called? QMX. And then these guys. I don't know anyone else who makes 6 scale Star Trek stuff. And which is saying a lot, because until all these Star Trek figures started coming out, which I feel like we've talked about Star Trek more in the past 3 weeks than we've ever done on the show, because they just don't exist. For now, another third-party company to we're going to start making Star Trek stuff is that seems a little fishy. That seems like just because somebody is now doing it successfully, you're going to jump on the bandwagon and try and cut into their market. I get it. I can see why he's so pissed. I don't know how international fucking laws work and trademarks and licensing works, so we've seen third-party companies get fucking cease and desist, and they'll disappear for a month and come back later and just release the figure anyway. So I don't really know how he's going to stop them from doing this, but I wish him the best.
I just to throw my 2 cents, I'm not a Star Trek fan, but business-wise, I understand where he's coming from most definitely, and you put your heart and passion into a business, and then to have and pay a lot for the license. I'm sure it's not cheap. Then you have these third-party companies come in and want to take over. I think bottom line, if you're confident with the level of quality you're putting into your figures, let these third-party companies come. They'll weed themselves out. You need to, I think, as opposed to just coming out and making a lot of drama in the community and coming out and doing this and I'm going to pull you from here, pull you from. You stay quiet. You say okay, and you put your money into your product. You put all that energy that you're putting into social media into the product. Deliver the best product you can, and at a fair price point, and that will always trump everything, in my opinion. Look, Hot Toys gets it with the third-party companies all the time. You don't see Hot Toys coming out publicly and making a brigade, and they have third-party companies copying everything they do. That's just my 2 cents.
Clarifying question for Ben. Have Exo6 either released or teased figures from this timeline?
Not yet, but they have mentioned that these were on the way, that the Calvin universe was something that they were going to tackle. So I think probably why he's so upset is that he's probably already got the prototypes pretty much ready to go, and now these guys are coming out with this option, right? But to quickly tag on to John's point there, I mean, I felt a little bit disappointed by his reaction. I'm not going to lie. I have thought that his love for Star Trek and some of the quality of the stuff that he's already put out has been amazing and does speak for itself. And I think if he'd put out a post with a picture of these two guys and said, "This is why we're not worried," that would have been so much more powerful of a message to send to his fans and his collectors that he's hoping to retain, than threats. Because we all know in the 6-scale community, John's already said it, like, you're going to have competition as soon as something becomes more and more profitable, or something as soon, like you said, Zach, I've got a pretty small channel, and some of the most views I have on any of my videos have been on Exo 6, because clearly it's really starting to gain some serious traction. But everything I've seen from Exo 6 has been better quality than these guys. These guys are not that good. They're just not. This post does not make me want to make a switch over to Present Toys. The reaction that Tim had, I think, is justified because, again, I think he's pouring his heart and soul into these figures. But again, I think it would have just been more powerful if he said, "I'm not worried. We'll be fine. We plan to come out with all of them, and just wait until you see our quality." It's similar to when Hot Toys does post, like with the Loki, right? The classic Loki, when that was being announced with third party, and then all Hot Toys had to do was like release a picture of like Loki's crown or whatever it was. I can't remember even exactly what they showed, but it was like, everybody who's a Hot Toys boy is gonna wait, and they're not gonna buy the third party, right? So I thought that was kind of disappointing, but I do think that these guys likely are just around the corner, which is part of the reason we're seeing such a spicy gut reaction as opposed to a well thought out response.
I'll keep it short. I think I'm surprised to hear John's take on it, because I know John loves passion for the everything what is, and this definitely screams of a lot of passion for the license and stuff like that. So
threats aren't passion.
Well,
wow,
half passion, half threats. But yeah, I mean, I get where he's coming from. If he's trying to, I know this company's been going for a little bit, but if he's trying to grow his company, and then this one comes and kind of cuts him off at the knees before his next release, I can definitely see where the anger comes from. Whether he should have just, swung D and showed like, hey, this is why we're not worried, or kind of do what he did or whatever, I can't say. I've done stuff like, I've had emotions like that in the past, and he just had a voice for it, or a platform for it. So, I'm really indifferent to what it is. But, as far as the third-party license stuff or third-party people ripping off, people with licenses, I mean, it's just unfortunately something that will never go away. We're always going to have to deal with it one way or the other. The companies are always going to have to deal with it. So, I don't know if this is his first time dealing with it or what, but, hopefully their product speaks for what it is down the road, and the Bens of the world can get all the Star Trek stuff that they want, and have it be high quality. So,
well, and in my discussions with him, to tag onto that, USB, that like he said that he doesn't feel overexposed, that they've been very strategic about the releases that they plan to make. And because my question for him is, if not enough of the last figure that you release sell, does that mean it's going to impact your ability to produce the next 10 that you guys have already kind of shown us previews for? And he said no, like they feel very confident in their ability to kind of proceed, right? And so I think that this should not detract from that confidence, because either way they are already building that fan base.
Yeah, but he's saying on his, first Bob Dylan says Hot Toys doesn't bother with what is that, C&Ds?
Cease and desist.
Oh, cease and desist. Howard just drops a hot steaming pile of teasers on Yost's front door, so as well, and pulls a Leslie jaw. Yeah, you hear it. No, but you hear him saying that this is kind of affecting the business, and we're already teetering on the edge of the cliff, sort of thing. So,
but that's why I'm saying it's a mixed message, because what he's been saying up till literally this message is that it's secure, that you don't have to worry about that, and then this message comes out and says we're teetering on the edge, and it's like, okay, well, what is it then?
You know what it is, Ben?
If anything, it creates a lack of confidence in the company versus the confidence.
You know what it is, Ben? He's comfortable. He had no competition. We can produce our figures because no one else is touching them. And now this is like, oh shit, we got to wake up and
rustle the jimmies.
Exactly. So
let's move on. We got a much bigger star to
Fish to fry.
So yeah, Star Wars Celebration. USB were there. You'd love to see it. Got to meet a bunch of great people. I'll be honest. I'm not sure if we were able to get your photos into these slides. I haven't checked it just yet, but
yeah, we are.
okay, fantastic, great work. Shout out to John, by the way. There's a lot of information to go through this week, and he was able to help me organize all these celebration things. So I'm just gonna scroll through. You guys stop me whenever you want. We got a look at potentially a new Hot Toys Darth Vader. This looks like a reissue. Hate to hear it, John.
Jesus.
Of the Rogue One Darth Vader, which, in my opinion, having owned the figure, is the worst Darth Vader that Hot Toys has made.
Really?
I don't
Why
like
do you say that?
I
That's a
don't
hot
like
take.
the. Oh, that's been my take since day one on this figure. It's way too tall. It's like fucking way. It's like just for a tall figure, it's somehow too tall. The fabric on the tunic and the cape, I mentioned it last week, or maybe it was during the unboxing. It gets like these really nasty plints. I had it out of the box for like an hour, and I had already seen, just from handling it that first time, just little bunches of plinting going on in the fabric. I think the helmet is great though, and the diaper cod. I mean, he's literally wearing a diaper.
Yeah.
It just does not look good.
That
The
pops for
boots
sure.
are also. The boots are also this weird. They're like rounded at the toe, but the A New Hope ones, they're almost like motorcycle boots, where they're like a square toe and they just look much more threatening. And the issue with the rounded toe boots, the way that the shin armor fits onto the boot, it's with Velcro, but it just doesn't really get tight enough to the shin to really make sense. It just looks terrible. The A New Hope, on the other hand, and the Empire Strikes Back Vader, the boot shin guards, they get in there real nice and tight. Look at that. We got King Zach in the chat. Hashtag lint roller.
Whoa.
Hashtag never forget. You
going
love
on,
it,
man?
If you know the lint roller meme, that's
Dude,
an
you're an
OG.
OG.
meme.
Yeah. Let me just
an
say
OG.
this for anybody who thinks that was a super hot take from Zach. Not only has Zach owned every Darth Vader that has been released, he's taken them all apart. He's put them all back together. He's made one that's.
He's taking them to the
amalgamation of-
beach.
Bro,
I have the greatest Vader sculpt
Remember, he
of all
doesn't like
time.
sand.
The Kyoto 1/6 scale model kit is the best. Trust me, guys. I like the level of anal with Gandalf that I am.
Jesus.
When I first started collecting, that was Vader was like the fixation, right?
For years.
I have
Years.
I have owned every single part of every single Vader and every single Vader figure. Like every lightsaber, every shin pad, every chest armor, every chest box. Also, I think the chest box in this one is too big. Every belt, every cape, every tunic, every glove. From the first Sideshow release, 1/6 scale, by the way, from the first Sideshow release up until, I think Empire was the last one that they've made. I didn't get the repackaged 40th anniversary one, but I know Vader backwards and forwards as far as all the figures go. I still don't think the Hot Toys helmet is particularly great, but
Yeah.
trust me when I say this figure has issues, and there will be people that tell you otherwise. But just having owned everything, not a huge fan there.
That's unfortunate to hear because this will likely be my first Vader here. So I was holding
Oh,
out for
sorry,
this
bro.
one.
You'll
And
be
Sean,
fine.
just to confirm, if you go back for a sec, this was advertised as the Kenobi Vader, correct?
Yes, this is advertised as a Kenobi Vader. Yeah, that's really all there's to say about it. As far as the Rogue One, the only reason why I say hot take is because usually when I talk to collectors, they're like, "Oh, the Rogue One is the best version of it, besides the A New Hope
That's what I've
2-pack
heard.
version." So that's the only reason why I said hot take. But I definitely trust your opinion because I remember when you freaked out on Vader a lot. So yeah.
Look at this. This is the Kyoto helmet. It's like the perfect Vader. It's so fucking good.
Can I have it?
It's
but
a
that's
model
not the
kit.
Kyoto Dome.
No, that's the Hasbro titanium. I'm telling you, I own every single 1/6 scale part. It's a Hasbro titanium dome.
Yeah.
Moving on, just so we don't spend too long on every figure. This is the C-3PO. USB, what'd you think about it in person? Was it a little less dark than you were thinking?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't shiny. Obviously it's not shiny, but it wasn't so. Didn't look like it'd been through a garbage disposal or something like that.
It's flipping.
Yeah, he's just flipping. He's throwing a frisbee or something. I don't know. But I thought it looked great in person. Everybody wishes this was the shiny gold one, and I hope that they give it to us. I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, I mean the weathering looks great. I'm definitely looking forward to it being die cast as well. So yeah, you know, it could have been better, e.g. the gold one, but you know, I'm glad that we are getting it, and I think it looks very cool in person.
Was this a buy for you from the beginning, or did this change your mind?
This was a buy from the beginning. I need a C-3PO in my collection. I've almost bought the Sideshow one so many times. And when, you know, it was kind of maybe going to be a pass, but then when they said it was full diecast, or not full diecast, but had diecast, you know, definitely became a buy at that point.
6 Scale Separatist says the gloves are different. You were 100% right. Yeah, the gloves are actually the best part of that figure. They're insanely well sculpted and they fit perfectly, and they're much better than those shitty Velcro sleeves that the A New Hope one had. King Zach says there's a code amongst guys who knows the significance behind the lent roller. What a legendary thing. We also have this is what I mentioned earlier, the normal tan battle droid. You have it there on the Stap, which looks really good. I was so impressed with that Stap yesterday. If this is anything as good as the Anakin one, collectors are in for a treat. And the Stap, I think, is really iconic for Episode 1.
Yeah.
And then, you know, whenever you guys want me to stop, we'll stop. We got the another look there at the Geonosis Trooper, which they still have that little thing attached on the backpack. It just kind of trips me out that they're just not taking that piece off. I hope it's not permanently affixed, because it kind of, to me, it just looks pretty terrible.
Yeah.
More look there. These are the I think from Sideshow, the high quality photos that they showed. There's the Super Battle Droid. This is the Mandalorian version, which has the the two arms with the blasters on it. I believe the Episode 2 ones only have it on the right arm. But I think it's probably one of those things that you could futz it in, and I don't think most people would particularly care.
Yeah.
Look at Moff Gideon, which has been released. I think they did a great job there with the different black tones and colors there. You love to see it. Darksaber looks really great there.
Yeah.
What are these? Dark Troopers, I think is what they're called.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How are these in person?
These actually looked really good. I was worried. These are one of the things I wanted to see because, yeah, I mean, just they look cool in the show and they look cool in the pre-order photos, but, you know, obviously could be a little bit different when you see it in person. But, yeah, they definitely looked imposing. They looked super beefy.
They look huge.
Yeah, they're huge.
I mean, obviously they are huge.
And you know, yeah, the helmet definitely looks cool in person. It's a very different look for a trooper or for an android or anything like that. So it's unique and definitely has an imposing sort of presence when you look at it.
Sean, you may have more pictures. Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead.
Sorry, it would be really cool with this figure, like with Maul, where they had the sarcophagus type box thing. But it would be cool if you could display the box. Like they have the, I don't know what it's called, but like the little docking bay that they go into before they're deployed. It would be really cool if they had that feature, like where the box, you could kind of display it, sort of getting ready to go into battle. But yeah, this looks incredible. Mario says, what did Zach say was wrong with the Vader? Equan said he listed like 20 things, something about pleats and round toes. Yeah, the pleats are really bad on that figure too. They're like huge, like window fucking like drapes. It's just weird. This is this Miggs Mayfield or just a generic trooper? I don't remember.
Generic.
Gotcha.
Tank trooper. Yeah, I think it was good.
love to
I
see
mean,
that.
it's a trooper. You know, it's a unique trooper, so that's cool.
Yeah, just
Armor
take
build, boy.
the left armor piece off, and you got yourself a Mando in disguise.
Does he really not have a left armor piece? Wow.
He gets knocked off in the fight. It shatters.
Interesting things. I'm actually on that episode right now.
Can we go back to Mando really quick? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
If you go back to that one right there, Sean, did you get any more pictures of the chrome Mando and how'd that look in person, like versus the exclusives?
Yeah, so I don't think that was the Chrome Season 2 Mando. I think that is still the Beskar one. If it was the Chrome, you know, it is not as shiny as I thought it would be. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I have some more pictures and I can send it to you privately, but that one did not look as chrome as the sort of pictures look for the pre-order.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Mario kind of said the same. He's like, I didn't even actually notice it. So that's concerning if it is the chrome.
While we're on that point, though, rewatching the show, his armor's not that chrome. Like I see some people using like Merichrome paint to paint the armor, but it's really like I almost think the first Beskar figure, like that's a pretty good look at the chrome, like as to what you see in the show, because it's pretty dirty in the show.
Zach,
it's not pristine.
You're just trying to convince yourself.
I am, but also it's not.
I'm glad you
wrong,
said
though.
it. I felt that way too. I felt that way too.
Look at
I'm
that.
glad
I'm
you said
speaking
it.
for the.
But it's
I've
not
got-
a
I've got
mirror
the-
chrome finish on the new one either.
It's significantly more chrome, though. Is what I'm saying. I think it's probably a touch too chrome.
But also,
like that cup you have, to me, like that's. Some people are painting their Mando to look like that, and it's like he's not that shiny.
No, he's
That's
not
kind
that
of sick, though. That's kind of a sick representation, even,
It's a sick
even if
cup,
he didn't
though,
look
if I'm
like
being
that.
honest.
Yeah.
Bro, if you want these, look for their for malts, like to make malt.
I was
shakes.
actually gonna say that's what it was.
Damn, I want a
Yeah,
malt now,
and
bro.
they stay
dare
cold.
you.
Oh, dude, these things are amazing. Anyway, on all the Mandos, he's also like filthy, and it's like, bro, this is new armor. There's not supposed to be like, you know how I complained about the Mark 50, how it's like chipping and shit. It's like, bro, it's fucking nanotechnology. It's not supposed to be dirty and fucking scuffed and shit.
But in the movie,
The
it
fucking
is.
Beskar ammo is brand new, solid, fucking beautiful Beskar chrome.
You know what's kind of fucked
Why is
about
it
the
filthy?
Beskar?
It pisses me off.
She's like, I'm gonna give you a full suit of Beskar, and we got plenty for the foundlings. But fuck your right thigh pad, bro. That shit's gonna stay original, bro. Dude, he got bamboozled, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got the Fennec Shand Book of Boba Fett and the Book of Boba Fett.
So,
Fett on
The,
throne.
the
Yeah, so
texturing
that-
on that left side looks.
That's how it looked in the show, though.
Was it?
He
Yeah.
repainted that shit with brushes while they were from point A to point B, and he came out looking all wongos.
Yeah.
Does it look like? Look at the little arrows. They're all fucking.
That looks right to me, bro. I just remember it looked super shitty because remember, Dean, his armor was all pitted from the acid, and it's
Right.
like he just took like to me that was one of the most unnecessary things I think I've ever seen. He just like fucking painted it real quick. Like it's not. I don't think it's supposed to look particularly good. Apparently, he had a good
it's like-
stencil for the
it's
stripes
like-
on the side of the helmet.
It's like, okay, you took a brush to it and then chipped the fucking shit out of it. Like, why is the red all chipped again? Like,
maybe he was painting around it. That's why he got all over. He fucking fucked one up. He's like, fuck.
it just doesn't make sense. It's like he painted it but didn't. Like, motherfucker didn't do anything in the whole show until the last episode, and it's chipped the whole time.
Yeah.
Man,
I
that
think-
shit sucks.
It does suck. I think him on the throne right there, I think it does look really good, especially with Fennec next to him. The thing I don't know is, because I think you only get like a cardboard cutout that goes in the back, but like this is like a whole platform with like
Yeah, I hate
with like
that.
the steel thing in the back and all this. So I don't know what bit of this display you're getting and what you're not. But him on the throne actually looks really, really good, really imposing.
That's all you get is him on the throne, like where his feet end, and everything above that. Just the throne part. You don't get that base.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Used to be the people at the convention. They were just Sideshow employees, or were there actually Hot Toys employees there?
Only Sideshow. Yeah.
Oh,
It was
hate
like
to see it.
what's her buckets? Who does all the
that
streams?
Autumn.
Yeah, and
see
some of
that.
those people.
Never mind. Cobb Vanth from
Yeah.
Vanth Refrigeration. You'd love to see it.
How was the
I really
texturing?
appreciate. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, sorry.
I really appreciate how slim he looks because in the show he does not fill out this armor at all.
No.
I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, my only question was how was the texturing? Because I heard some of the texturing on the Boba and this one as well just looked like splotched paint.
It was through glass and all that stuff, so I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. It's something you have to kind of see and feel in person. I mean, looking at it from the distance I saw it and took in the pictures, I thought it looked cool. It wasn't. It didn't look like someone, a bird pooped on it or anything like that that I've kind of seen. So,
Wow.
And I will say, him being skinny, we did the Mandalorian experience there as well. And me and my wife, like the first thing we commented on was how skinny this actor is, because his costume was like he's a freaking twig. So, they nailed it as far as that goes.
An update to the Chrome Mando. Mario's saying it did have the new thigh pad, so that may have been the Chrome version, and they're saying it just didn't really stand out that much. Sorry, Ben.
Big yikes.
No, that's actually exactly what I was going to say. So perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm getting a good deal on the Beskar Mando. Shout out to Rainer.
I don't really particularly want a Cobb Vanth in my collection, but I do want his pistol. But in real life.
Like in a sexy
But
way?
not a
or-
blaster, like a real.
Like you want
we
a
also,
new gun. Gotcha.
There you go. Yeah, weapons are his religion. We have a new R2D2, or rather, new photos. This is the one that was shown a few weeks ago for the 20th anniversary. And look at all those
so cute.
bobs and bits.
Yeah,
Love to
and
see
highly
it.
weathered, highly weathered compared to the standard deluxe. So, yeah, there's some meat on the bone, as John would say. Yeah, definitely way more weathered than the other one.
Look at that. And finally, the legends here. We got the Bad Batch, though it does fall victim to the Hot Toys production /release/teaser schedule, because at Celebration they showed the new trailer for season 2 and the armors are totally different. But we got Crosshair and Rika, and then also Iko, and I believe Hunter was on display as well. Curious to see when they're going to drop tech, but big decision for me to make if I want to go Kotobukiya 1/7 scale or Hot Toys. Got a lot to think about. Also, I really want Crosshair's rifle to have some gloss paint there on that scope, because that just looks really sloppy. It's definitely a glass scope that he has there. But the helmets look great, and the fact that Rika can actually... It's annoying to me when Hot Toys figures can't do like iconic poses. So if Crosshair couldn't shoulder the rifle, or if Rika couldn't do the old fist pound thing, I think it'd be a huge mistake. One thing though, looking at Echo's helmet, the band that goes on the back of his head, it obviously stays there when he removes the helmet. So I hope that that part can be removed for a holding the helmet type of display. If the Black Series can do it for $20, I think the Hot Toys should be able to do it for $280-$300. Just my opinion, though. And there's another look there at these figures, and I like the weathering. I think it's subtle, but it's very well done. So.
Yeah, I was happy to see Wrecker there for sure, and Crosshair. So it makes me sort of optimistic that we will actually get the full team. I'm hoping to get Omega too. So
hell
we'll
yeah,
see.
dude. Is he huge, Rekka?
No, he's not. I mean, he's big. He's bigger than the rest, to be sure. But he's not like a Hulk figure or anything like that. So definitely bigger body, definitely more beefier, but not. He's in scale. You know what I mean? He's as big as you'd want him to be. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not huge.
Yeah, because that's Dean's big complaint with the Black Series. He thinks it's too small, but I think it's a little too small, but not that small.
No, it's not undersized, but it's not proper scale, I think. Does that make sense?
No,
like
those are the same thing, my guy.
Yeah, I guess I worded that.
Not
funny.
big enough
like,
to satisfy you.
Yeah, I'm a size queen, you know.
Dean's a little fucking gabagool. And I think the figure of the show, if I'm being completely honest, this thing was show stopping. Honestly, the chrome clone trooper, and you got that chrome base too. I didn't even notice that. That's clean. Yeah.
Do you think this is proper for the Mando? It's mirror, but not clear mirror. Like it's hazy.
I think this looks great. Yeah, I think if you had a little bit of weathering, because I know you're saying it's new armor, but it is certainly dirty and gross.
It's not.
I just watched it in 4K today.
I've just watched it as well. It's
bro, you're watching
really
the wrong. You're watching something
dirty.
else, bro.
It's not dirty.
You're saying it's pristine clean, bro?
She fucking makes it right then and there. There's no way.
Yes, but I'm talking about season 2, bro.
Season 2, it looks literally exactly the same.
He gets it dirty though, buddy.
Go back and watch it.
Sand gets
Beskar,
everywhere.
It's impervious, but it's not.
Pull it
like. All right, here we go. Let's find the photo. I'll find it.
Send it to me. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
This is a cash grab. All you people who ordered are suckers. Love you all.
Wow.
No, I mean, I think these, like I said in the thing, I think these are great for exclusives. If they do end up staying exclusive to the show, which they won't, but if they did and you missed it, it's not a skin off your back. It looks good. Yeah, you would have liked to have it, but it's not whatever. It's not like missing Darkseid Anakin or anything like that. So I think, it's a cash grab, sure, if you want to call it that. But I mean, I think all kind of exclusives are. So
Danny says these didn't look great in person.
Oh, wow.
Really?
The only person I've seen say that.
And that's Danny. Sorry,
Yeah.
He does wear glasses though, so.
Oh,
wow.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ. It was that double glass reflecting going on. Let's see what else we got here. The Hot Toys Anakin on Snap. We unboxed that yesterday. Check that video out if you haven't. Yeah. We also got cool, the Two Stooges on the whatever this is, the Bark Speeder. They just look so goofy. I don't know why they put Apple. Like, why would you buy this and then take Apple off a speeder to put on there? I don't know. That just seems stupid to me. How
Yeah.
big was this walker, the clone walker?
Huge.
It looks massive.
Huge, like definitely bigger, maybe around quarter scale size, maybe a little
Holy
bit
shit.
bigger. It was big, 18, 20 inches, something like that high. Who knows if they'll make that, but if they do, that's going to be a pretty penny. But yeah, looked imposing, looked very cool in person, but yeah, that would be, they have to sell a lot of speeders, I think, bark speeders before they'll make that one, but yeah.
All right, while we're here, I think this supports my claim here. It's hard to find screenshots, to be honest, but you could see there's fucking weathering on the armor, bro. Here.
Not. I mean, yeah. Go pull up. Can you pull up Hot Toys? Because it's like filthy.
Okay, Hot Toy. I'll give you.
There's
that.
like some tarnishing, like where you would handle it, put it on. Sure.
Just
But,
wait
like,
for Queen
there's
to
this,
do theirs.
Like, in the yeah, if I will. Like in the crevices, there's like mud. It's like why?
It's tough though because with the 6-scale figure, you kind of want details, so sometimes they kind of have to fudge it. Maybe
I
it's not
guess
screen accurate.
Yeah, I guess at that size, maybe overdoing it is.
Okay, I will say this, Dean. If I'm being completely honest, because someone hit the "man can only admit when he's wrong" meme. They did it way over on the chrome.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
normal is not okay. I was talking about the normal, but the
Oh.
chrome is like to the nth degree. Like that's pretty.
A man can only admit when he was wrong and ask forgiveness.
Like if you look here, that looks like it looks in the show. It's not this chrome nor this weathered in the show. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to convince myself.
Wait,
That
is this
portrait's
the new
fucking
one?
incredible,
Oh shit!
though.
I gotta. How much was this?
This is the new one.
That's been so long.
Too expensive.
375, 330.
That's not the worst. I have $50 in sideshow points that expire by midnight tonight.
Dude,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bro, you better get on Hot Toys right now and buy something.
I'm thinking of just buying
there's
a
another
mug.
look there at the Walker. It has to be above. It has to be above $50 though. That's the thing. That's the kicker.
Oh, you sure? Oh, that sucks. Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
They also had the clone commander and the quote unquote shiny clone. Love to see it. The K2 series droid,
That
which
looked good
just
in
looks
person.
weird without the eyes slit up. But that's a complaint with like any droid type character. This is
3PO.
Mando season 2 Boba, if I'm not mistaken. Anyone?
I think that's
Birdship.
season.
Yeah,
No, this
Mando
is the
season
quarter.
2.
It's not the quarter. Oh.
No, that's not the quarter. I think that's.
Okay.
Isn't that the 2-pack? Isn't that the 2-pack?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
it's
2-pack,
two-pack.
Mando
Yeah.
season
Yeah,
2.
you're right. Yeah.
We also have Danny said he agrees with us about the chrome. He'd love to see it. We also have R5. No, this isn't R5. R5D4. No,
I don't
anyone?
know off the top of my head.
It's
This is the New
D2R2.
Hope droid though. D2R2. There we go. We also got the Heavy Mando, which Sean was really pissed about. The reissue, the non-innovation there.
Oh,
thank you,
you had
OG.
to fucking do it.
I don't know why they. I fucking hate this
Why did I
character
even
so
include
much.
this picture?
I don't know why they did this. Like, to me, it's. I don't think it really needed a reissue.
The
You can get them pretty cheap.
I don't think it needed a fucking
Stupidest
figure at all,
reissue.
much less a reissue. Unless he
we
plays a much bigger
wanna
role
do
in
the
season
reissue?
3.
Why does he have
What?
the gun? He doesn't need the gun. We didn't see it in Book of Boba. The gun. What the hell does he have the gun for? Keep the. That's fine. You want to bring the figure back. It was it was made in low quantity. Bring it back. Give us a shield. Beautiful. Why are you including the gun from Mando? It doesn't make sense. It's here. Here's just to f you up. That's all.
I think
Look at
the
that. I
shield
was
looks
right.
cheap, though.
R5D4. Of
course.
You're not wrong. That looks like the topper. Like, you get the little crane toy and the fucking thing has the topper on it. That's what that looks like to me.
Same with the
We
jetpack.
also
Did we
gotta
even see the
look
jetpack? I don't know. I gotta watch it again.
I do not recall Casca Reeves, which I think they need to fill that bosom out a little, or the bottom a little bit more, because her pants were like fucking holding on for dear life in that movie. My goodness.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And honestly, in the Patreon chat, I mentioned this, and I don't think a lot of you guys agreed with me, but I think these Sideshow Clone Wars figures, the outfits look much worse than they looked in the, what was it, STCC at home. They just don't look particularly well futzed. I think the
They're
portraits look okay,
oversized?
but no, I think they're 6 scale.
They're 6-scale. Yeah.
But to me, at least, like just if you look at Anakin's outstretched arm, like just the way that looks just doesn't look particularly good to me. But I still think these are going to be some really fantastic figures if the bodies can be what is it, a little bit more hefty.
Sorry,
Because sometimes
Zach,
yeah, go ahead.
Let me clarify my question. Do the robes look oversized, or what exactly is not looking right to you?
I don't know. They just don't look like they drape particularly well. If you look at the photos from the SDCC at home, I mean, they looked like, any of the best 1/6 scale capes that I've seen from like Jackson or Lucky. And to me, this looks kind of like what I was expecting. I don't know.
I think.
It also looks like Yoda's head. Go ahead, sir.
These got to be the same prototypes. You know what I mean? So. I would say, I mean, it might just come down to the futzer who put it up for SCCC at home versus the futzer who's here. So, I would agree. Yeah, they look better there, but as far as that goes, but I mean, when I get it, I'll be, a different futzer than they will be. So, I more so, I just want to point out that I think the sculpts look phenomenal in person, and if they execute it as good as these ones are, close to these, I think they'll be awesome. Aside from the slightly oversized Yoda, for sure.
I was gonna say the Yoda looks a little on the big side. His head looks way bigger than the human characters. Which
I thought the
is
same, Ben.
strange.
Is that just the picture, Sean?
Might just be the picture. Like I didn't know. Yeah.
No, I mean there's a little bit of whatchamacallit, forced perspective here because I think he's a little bit in front, but not much. He definitely looked a little bit oversized. So, I will say that. But the details there when you look at him in person,
really good.
it's a little bit oversized.
Zach, I feel like when we first saw these, they weren't shown with the cloaks.
Yeah, they weren't. You're right. I think they were just in there.
I think I'm looking at the let me share this. Maybe I'm thinking of these photos here, but if you look at the futzing here, like just look at how beautiful that drape is.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just look way thicker, the material, than what we have here. And like just look at how clean that looks. Like to me it just looks really messy. The color looks, and it's probably the lights. Like don't get me wrong, those are like really harsh warm white lights. But the color just looks weird to me on that robe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like or I don't like rather, because they're animated sculpts, but like the material still looks like real material. I don't know how they would get around that, but like it just throws me off for a bit.
It also looks like the color is a little different, though. Is it not, or is that just my eye?
That's
on
what
the
I'm
screen?
saying.
Like it almost looks like a reddish brown in the other picture you just showed versus this, which is strange.
That's what I'm saying. It just looks weird to me.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I see Mario and Danny going back and forth that they didn't like him either. I thought they looked phenomenal in person, and to each their own. But I love the Clone Wars. So
these figures.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be unhappy with them. I think they're a little bit overpriced for what you get, for sure. So if you can get them with some points or some discounts or something like that, definitely go for it. But yeah, I think they are, I love them. I will definitely be getting them and displaying them.
There goes Manny on the comments. Mario said that he's going to be canceling them. They did not look great in person. And to me, it's like, if these don't look good, like your figure at home that you get is not going to look any better than this, in my opinion. These, especially if these are the prototypes and you're expecting that decrease in quality, I would be concerned. And usually Mario, in my opinion, has a really good eye for this kind of thing. So, there's a look at the Kenobi figure, Yoda.
At least they did we actual blue fucking sabers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do we have the photos from Sean? I don't see that.
They're mixed in.
No.
Those were mixed in.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
I thought those were Sean's pictures. My God.
Now, moving on, we did get some great news for the TV show stuff. Mandalorian and Grogu will continue their journey in Season 3 of The Mandalorian, streaming in February 2023. A little bit disappointed that the sizzle reel wasn't shown publicly. It was kind of just leaked out and then taken down by a bunch of different YouTubers. I'm not a big fan of that. I think Star Wars should be enjoyed by everyone. If you're going to have convention-exclusive merch, that's one thing. But I think the panel stuff, those short little sizzle reels, I think those should be shared publicly. We also got a new, I think it's a television show, Skeleton Crew. I think it's Jude Law, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be really cool to see. And then we also got our first look at the Bad Batch Season 2 trailer / sizzle reel. You can see the whole team has completely different armors. So it just goes back to the whole Hot Toys production schedule stuff where by the time we even see the figures in their entirety, the armor's already going to be totally different. And they're not even just a little bit different. Like, they're, really, really significantly changed. So I don't know that I love the new armor looks. I think for me, I'm still liking that season 1 look a bit better. But supposedly they're more road worn. They've kind of been doing this for a while. And, yeah, so I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it.
I definitely hate it.
Our movie of the week, Dean, was Oblivion, and you, I guess we've been on a Tom Cruise, a Tom Cruise kick. I don't know if it's because of Top Gun or whatever, but let me get some synopsis stuff here. Oblivion is a 2013 American post-apocalyptic action adventure film starring Tom Cruise in the main role. It takes place in the year 2077 on an Earth devastated by a war with extraterrestrials that has caused humanity to relocate itself to Titan. The film follows the story of Jack Harper, a technician who has been sent back to Earth to service drones used in the fight against the remaining extraterrestrials called the Scavengers. After witnessing a spacecraft crash from which he rescues the survivor, Harper is captured by scavengers. Wow, this is like a really intense plot summary. Who are revealed to be humans and fights against a new and evolving alien threat. I really enjoyed this film. The world building, the tech, because I don't remember if like Alexa was around at this point when this movie came out.
I don't think so.
Every fucking thing. But the drones, to me, like seeing them interact, like it feels like I'm watching like the evolution of what that could become, and it trips me out. And the score, the world building, like I really enjoyed a lot of that.
Jamie Lannister.
The big twist in the film, it didn't really get me. I was kind of like weirded out by the Overwatch lady, like the weird Texan accent, and then how she kept saying that weird phrase like,
"Are you in your team?"
Yes, I was like, that's such a weird thing that she keeps saying. And then at the beginning of the movie, they're like, "Oh well, we were 5 years, we were wiped our memories, and then we're gonna go to Titan, and this happened." And there's kind of been like, and I think Godzilla came after this movie, so I think it did get it from this, but like how the restricted zone is actually not what they say it is. Like in Godzilla, it's like a lush, like beautiful, like, okay, it's not radioactive at all. What is it? So that didn't really get me. But the thing that really like kind of red flagged me was when he finds the transmission and it's giving coordinates. And I'm thinking, like, if it's an alien species, why would they use our numbering system? Why would they use our coordinate system's like fairly complex in how it works? That took me out of the movie, and I'm like, that's such a weird plot hole. And then it was revealed, the big twist in the film that the scavengers are actually humans. To me, I was like, okay, like the little breadcrumbs were there, and I think it was done very well. I think this movie has one of the best openings. In the span of like 5 minutes, you're completely filled in of everything you need to know in such an elegant way. Like, I was blown away about how clean the opening was. Like, I didn't need like 30-45 minutes of like getting to meet everybody and the plot and here's the problem. Like, bro, in like 4 minutes you know everything you need to know, and it's like probably one of the best movie openings. And I think it's a beautiful film. The CGI is excellent. The drones, like, I can't even imagine in theater, like when they just shoot off, and I mean, it's insane, and they feel powerful in the film, and obviously they are. So it was a good pick. I've actually never seen this film. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out on HBO Max. Very good film. But yeah, I give it like a 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it came out, like I said, around the same time as Live Die Repeat. He had like a series of like bangers. And I just really, really enjoy this movie. It reminds me a lot of the movie Moon with Sam Rockwell. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Have you seen it, Zach?
No, Equan just blew my mind. He said Jessica Chastain was supposed to be in this film, but she got pulled away at the last minute to do Zero Dark 30. I was watching an interview with her, and she said she had a commitment with Tom Cruise to do a film. She didn't say what it was, but she's like, I had to basically asked Tom Cruise for a big favor, because I think he was one of the executive producers of this film, to get out of the contract that she had signed to do this movie, to do Zero Dark 30, because she thought it would be big for her career, and he let her out of the contract with like no penalty, like just, you know, do whatever you want to do. And she was like, I want to, before I retire, do a movie with Tom Cruise to thank him for doing that. So Equine just blew my fucking mind.
Wow, very cool. I probably would have preferred Jessica Chastain over.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But if you've never seen Moon, check that movie out too. But you're right, Zach. All the information you need to know about this movie is right up front. Now that information, you know, comes to light a little later about what's actually going on. So I guess they didn't really need to dwell on the info too much, because they're just gonna flip it on its head. But you're right. It's very like, okay, now we're in the movie. We're in it. And yeah, it's, for most of the movie, it's just Tom Cruise and some chick. And that's hard to do, to keep you engaged in what's going on when it's just one guy. And so Tom Cruise absolutely kills it in this movie. It's so cool. I love really good sci-fi, and this is really good sci-fi. I felt like the bad guy could have been a little bit better, but when you get there, it's very intimidating.
Yeah.
Super cool. What's his name? Morgan Freeman. Amazing. I loved him. Super great. Jamie Lannister, watching the movie again, I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking Jamie.
I said the same thing. I was like, oh, I don't remember him being in this movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
super funny. Just such a good movie. I love it. I really, the only thing I'm confused about is the time frame in which the love interest gets like sent back, so Tom Cruise could keep the mission going, and then he finds her later. But it's been, I don't know how many years it's been since they left Earth and came back, but she like crash lands, but she's like the same age, but Earth is like.
Yeah, she said she was in cryo freeze for like 60 years, 65 years, something like that.
Okay, is that what it was? Okay, I don't remember that. I gotta. Where the fuck did I miss that? Because Earth is like unrecognizable, and it's like 60 years that happened. Like, okay, but Tom Cruise is like already there. It's a wild movie. You got to check it out.
It was unrecognizable though, because they destroyed the moon, right? And the moon then made tsunamis and
tidal
stuff like
shifts,
that.
Earthquakes and shit.
And
then all
totally
the nukes too.
Yeah, but there's like,
nukes, yeah.
This so 7 out of 10 IMDb, 53% Rotten Tomatoes. For me, I was enjoying this movie. Visually stunning, the environments for 2013, beautiful. The way you see the Earth, and then the way when he's flying in that little plane, those scenes were awesome. Really enjoying the movie until you see his clone. I'm like, what the? From that point on, I feel like it took a dive. I like what they did with what's his name? You said, come on,
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. I like the way when he opened up the cryo pack, he was in there as opposed to the wife. But even the ending where Tom Cruise comes back and it's a different one. It's like, well, which one is this? Is this the one we were watching originally, or is this? I don't know. It got confusing. Visually stunning. It's worth at least one watch, in my opinion. But when he got to that cabin and he threw Led Zeppelin on, I was like, oh yeah, good taste in music here. I was jamming there. But it's a good pick. It was a good pick. Just kind of weird in the end. It took a route that I was like, what? Didn't you get like that Hal vibes sort of thing from that
Hal
ending?
9000?
Oh yeah, 100%, man. It's like Hal on steroids, bro.
Yeah.
The Tet, or what do they call it? It's
Tet,
the
yeah,
Tet,
the Tet,
yeah.
The Tet.
That's fucking cool, man.
So I'll agree with John. Nice choice, Dean. It's not one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies, but it's still a really good movie. Definitely worth a watch. I would say I still kind of prefer Live, Die, Repeat. I like Mission Impossible Fallout in terms of his, more recent movies, but this is going to turn into a Tom Cruise appreciation rant here. The guy is like the best modern action star, honestly. And I know folks have their issues with him personally. Yeah, like he's just incredible. Any movie that he's in is like almost worth watching because he's just such a crazy motherfucker that he'll, you know, and it seems like he picks really good projects as well.
Yeah.
That like, yeah, that just, go ahead, Dean.
Oh, I was going to agree with you. Like the way he understands a script and can make the decision. Like he knows movies. He fucking in his soul loves and adores his craft, and you could see it whenever he interviews. So you're right. Like any Tom movie that Tom Cruise is in, it's like there's a reason why he's in this, and it's probably going to be at the very minimum watchable.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think you nailed it.
Yeah, and so I'm really excited to see the new the new Top Gun. Obviously, it's getting a lot of buzz, and I was already hyped for it before all this buzz because, like, if Tom Cruise is in, I'm in. So yeah, really excited to see that. And I would just say, yeah, definitely worth a watch for anyone in the chat who has not seen it yet.
Yeah, I love this movie. I mean, I love a good sci-fi movie, and this is kind of like my, I love this. And this, yeah, like you said, Live, Die, Repeat, and this came out very close to each other, and it was just like, holy shit, to see Tom Cruise in this kind of role. You know, because he had done some fantasy, a lot of action, but you know, to sci-fi he hadn't been in a lot, and these two were very stylistically different, but stylistically cool in their own respect. So, this, you know, when I originally saw it, that twist got me when it showed up and it was another Tom Cruise or whatever there. I thought it was awesome, and then it became super, super, you know, sci-fi-y, if you want to call it that, after that, and that's what I love. So I loved it after we found the clone and all that. And I guess I didn't catch the whole, you know, why would an alien be using our coordinate system? So yay for me, I guess, back in the day. So I didn't catch that. So it was definitely a surprise for me that twist got me. I think, you know, it was definitely, you could tell something creepy was going on when, you know, the whole, are you an effective team? And it was just very, you know, dry and just something, you could tell something was off and something was weird. And then it started to devolve and all that stuff. So, yeah. And to John, to your point, it was the Tom Cruise we had been watching the whole time was 49, I believe. And he went up with Morgan Freeman and he set the nuke. The one that came at the end was 52.
52,
He's the one, he was the one who they knocked out. You know, when they saw it.
Stayed laying there in the dune there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, it's basically letting 49 have his kind of heroic end while still giving this sort of happy ending to, you know, Tom Cruise as a character, but also to his wife. So, and they said it had been 3 years they had been searching for that house. So yeah, this is great. I hadn't seen it since I saw it the first time. So yeah, definitely, yeah, it was great to see it again. So definitely good movie of the week. And, yeah, Tom Cruise is awesome, man. This is, I will say though, this is one where you don't see him have a very, very long running scene. I mean, I think you see him run on the sand dunes for a hot second, but like
you got that motorcycle scene though.
Yeah, you did get the motorcycle scene. So, yeah. And, I will say about the drones, you mentioned those drones. the one thing that stood out to me the most was the sound effects. Like when they were hunting everybody,
good.
They were so good, and they sounded so scary and freaky when they were like scanning and shooting, just everything.
That fucking beam comes down, and you're like, dude, is this drone about to? In the beginning, you could kind of tell like the build up. Like the first time he's like, I don't remember, it's like Jack 49 or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, boom. But like each time that he interacts with it after that, it just like starts slowly like getting a little more sus. And it's actually cool because the drone that he fixes at the beginning is the same drone that like he keeps encountering throughout the film, like up until about like the middle of the film, I think. But it's just cool to fix that drone, and then it's like that's the drone that saves him when he falls down that tunnel thing. And then again later when he pulls out the battery or whatever, it's the same drone.
Yeah,
but,
so great pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, what's your pick?
All right, we
Ben didn't go.
Oh yeah, Ben, of course.
Just kidding, Ben.
That's okay. I'll be super quick because
it's not a Star Trek movie, so he didn't watch it. I'm just kidding.
There were some chill-worthy moments for me when they're talking about how when they took Tom Cruise, like his character, anyways, they took the best of us and turned him against us. Like that gave me chills. You know, when you see some of the things that he's collected slowly at his little hut, you know, you see the sunglasses and the stuffed gorilla and the hat, and like all these things that he's slowly collected come from his memory of that scene up in the tower with his wife, which I think is just like, it gave me chills when I saw that the stuff that he'd collected and how it really referenced his real life, right? I was going to say that about the motorcycle. As soon as he pulled out the motorcycle, I audibly laughed in bed, and like Shauna was asleep, and she kind of like jostled. Like, I was like, "That's amazing! Of course he has a motorcycle. That's fantastic."
I've never noticed that little trope until you said it, and now I cannot unsee it.
It's I audibly laughed.
Yeah, because they even shoehorned it into Live Die Repeat.
Yeah.
When he goes to the bar, and I was like, "Where did he get a motorcycle from?" And then you never see it
was
again.
so out there. It was like, where the fuck did you find this thing?
Yeah, and then you guys said that in the chat today, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, he did.
Exactly. But I also liked that there was a love story aspect to it. I sometimes struggle to find films that I can watch with Shauna, because I can watch sci-fi movies all day, like till the cows come home, right? But she's not a huge fan of sci-fi, but she does like love stories and nice connection movies and stuff. And I think that this is one that you can either really enjoy kind of on your own, just as a nerd in the basement, like I do a lot, or you can watch it with your significant other and have a good time. It was a great like popcorn film type of thing, and yeah, it was a great picking. Good job on that one, buddy. 100%.
So I'm going.
Yeah, your pick, John.
Tragically, we lost Ray Liotta last week. So in memory of him, I'm going with Goodfellas.
Oh, solid.
Great fucking pick.
Good. Where is it streaming?
Well, it's streaming on Netflix for me. I'm sure you guys have access to it on whatever you got over there.
I think it might be on HBO Max.
Yeah,
it is on HBO Max.
You have to have it, yeah, for sure. That's why I felt pretty confident.
Film.
You haven't seen Goodfellas?
Oh, Zach,
I think so.
Oh,
bro.
You're
amazing. I'm excited. I've been meaning. Hang on, let me check out the cover.
Bro, that scene.
No,
the scene where he goes across the street.
Bro.
Well, don't fucking ruin it for me, bro.
I know, it's so good, bro. It's a great movie.
This is like
To this comment, though, Fat Thai Kid said Tom Cruise and the other actors weren't allowed to touch any of the controls in Top Gun. They just sat there. I mean, I don't blame them for telling them that, because in a fighter jet, you don't want to just be touching switches and shit.
Yeah, those are $30 million aircraft, bro.
And they're flying in them. They're not just like, yeah, I have no problem with that.
Dude, you need so much training to fly at that speed.
I mean, I can fly it, but
those G-forces, bro. Yeah,
well, I got it.
They were in the back seat of these planes, and the cameras were on them. It looks fucking amazing. Because if you watch the original Top Gun, it's just like camera angles. They're like looking around the cockpit, but this one, it's like.
But the original Top Gun looks fucking good too.
Oh yes, even now. But I'm just saying, like now you get some crazy angles where it's like, bro, they're actually doing these maneuvers. It's crazy.
I don't think I've ever actually seen the original Top Gun. Is that
what?
That might have to be your pick, bro.
It might have to be.
I haven't either.
Legit.
It's super. I've been to the super tropey.
Yes.
It's like if you get a new sound system, that's like the movie you test out your sound system on.
Ben, I know what you're about to say. Me too.
Yeah, Canada's Wonderland ride. That shit
was
gave me
crazy.
whiplash.
That one. Yeah, that one was crazy.
Let's Dean. Let's say thanks to the people that keep the network going.
As John says, the three pillars that hold up the channel. We want to give a huge shout out to Sean Fear, Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, James Colley, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crett, Big Ol' Fern, King Zach, Caesar Mariquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DeGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alan Morgan, Tukothri, Wah, Derek B., Carlos Saavedra, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Dalmaton, Jimmy James, Stephen Percha, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer.
Bunch of angels.
What a bunch of sweet angels.
Thank you guys for sticking with us through these crazy months. We love to see it. Our June Patreon benefits. We have the Ox Bucks sticker drawn
That's
by.
amazing.
Actually, both of these are drawn by Manny the Man Gonzalez. If you're on Discord, you know about Ox Bucks. It is the official currency of Collecting Weekly, and Manny put in just some amazing little Easter eggs in this little thing. I'm excited for you guys to get it and take a look at all the little nuggets of little Easter eggs there. And then a throwback to collecting rarities. So we do a lot of shows on CW. Some are long running, some, unfortunately sometimes we do have to cancel some shows, but Rarities was a great show. And they put out, I think, like 10, 12 episodes. One of the iconic memes was the Air Jesus 5000 sandals, the sandal of the month from Rainer. And Rainer now has been immortalized with a sticker. So in honor of Rainer and his sandals, we have the Rainer sandal sticker. These are coming out in June, late June. And if you're a Patreon, I think most of you guys probably should have your stickers from this month already. I've seen a few people in the comments say they got their stickers today, so we'd love to see it. Sam says we need a John sticker. We do have one, but he does want a re-release of the new this week sticker. So we'll have to, maybe July, August, we'll do a poll on Patreon and have you guys vote on some of the more popular stickers that we've done, and we'll see which one wins, and we'll reissue that sticker, if you will. And Manny says the Oxbucks would be cool as a holo. I am planning on that when they do a deal for some of the top people that have the most Oxbucks. If you want to join Patreon, you can do so starting at $5 a month. The link is there in the comments. You get stickers sent straight to your door and access to almost 130 episodes of Ox After Dark, one of our most fantastic shows. The $15 tier is figure fix assistance, and you also get the certified crispy certificate and all the benefits of the first tier. The $25 tier is the deluxe pog set, which we sent out last month to our existing top tier patrons, and doubles of all the stickers we send. So one for you, one for a friend, or one to rock and one to stock, as Dean says. Our YouTube channel members, if you want to join that, click that link there in the comments. We got Mojo Z78, OG Fan, Absolute Irwin, Beme, Test Just One, Mark Pearson, DK Avenger 702, Ben Thomas, OMFG Rick, Justin Harass, S Beam, Paul Schreiber, Andres IB, Andrew Gibo, Daminator, CC3PO, Sam Gist, Lemur Hernandez, Thomas Clark, and Carlito. Thank you guys for your support on YouTube. We really appreciate it. And we buy a lot of equipment for the guys on the channel, so every bit of income that we get, we put back into the show to make the show look and sound, all of our shows look and sound as good as they can. YouTube channel membership starts at 99 cents if you're a Patreon member, or $2.99 if you are not. You get loyalty badges and exclusive emojis that you can use in the chat. So if you're a member, if you could drop some of those for me, that would be great. Look at the network. We got Collecting Weekly Live, OFAC, Small Talk, After Dark, Bricks and Brews, The Ringcast, Collecting Weekly Live Unboxing, Collectors Club, Pose Wars, and Live and Let Dice. This week we have After Dark tomorrow. We also have, I think, OFAC this week, Club, and then Mark mentioned wanting to do a Ringcast this weekend. We also had D&D last week, and Pose Wars. We should have a date for June ASAP as possible. So yeah, here's a look at our TeePublic store if you want to support us there. Jesus, I clicked the wrong button. There is the TeePublic link. The shirts are on sale, I think, for the next few hours. And then, they usually go on sale about once or twice a month. So if you want to buy them, I recommend waiting for a sale, but we upload quite a bit of our stickers to there. And if there's a design that you want that's not there, let me know, and we'll do our best to put it on there. John, can you read our socials for me, please?
Yeah, definitely. On Facebook, we got Collecting Weekly, as well as our group Collecting Weekly Auxiliary. Instagram, @Collecting Weekly, @Collecting Weekly _clips for all our funny moments from all our shows. And @the_everyday_collector. Guys, be sure you're following all these social media pages here. You should be already. If you're not, I don't understand.
Yeah, if you're not, I don't know what you're doing. Shout out time. Shout out to John, helping me organize a lot of the information this week.
Anytime.
It was quite a bit, and definitely helped me out quite a bit. Ben, it's your birthday tomorrow. Happy 35th birthday. You'll love to
guys.
see it.
Thanks, guys.
And big shout out to Useby. I know he took a bunch of stuff, photos from the convention. I don't know, were you going to be able to put it into a video for us, or how did we want to do that?
I have some videos that I took. Me and you could talk offline about what we want to do. But yeah, I took a bunch of videos and just kind of pictures and all that stuff. But yeah, however we want to do it with what I have. And also shout out just to everybody that I met and hung out with at Celebration. It's awesome getting to meet Lael and Latoya and everybody and Rita and just CC, hanging out with Matt, whole crew from Rogue 16. Everybody, it was a pleasure to hang out with everybody. Definitely looking forward to the next one. Next one's in London next year, next April. So yeah, maybe I'll start talking to Lacey, my wife, on those. But it's a pleasure hanging out with everybody and get to know everybody, and had a great time at Disney. We went to Disneyland a couple days before and then went to Celebration. So it was a fun, jam-packed weekend of everything Star Wars. So had a great time, and hope Zach, Dean, John, Ben, Marco, hope you guys can make it out,
Dude,
either
100%.
the London one or maybe the,
awesome.
the next one after that. Yeah,
London
super
would
fun.
be crazy.
That would be crazy. I wanted to give a really quick. I wanted to give a really quick shout out and thank you just to you guys, but also everybody in the chat. As most of you guys know, I have a kind of tiny channel that I've just been having fun with. I don't really like to talk about it too much on here, just because when I'm here, I feel like I want to support Collecting Weekly. But one of the ways that I've been given a voice is through this channel, and my little channel hit 150 subscribers last week, which felt like a pretty big accomplishment for me. So I just wanted to say thank you to you guys for giving me a chance to have a platform, but also to everybody in the chat who listens week over week and sends me nice messages in the chat and stuff. It's been a lot of fun connecting with you guys, and you guys are honestly starting to feel like family. And I say that on every channel that I get to go on. It's like you guys gotta talk to these guys because they're the OGs. So thank you. And I will have a little data video coming out. I saved my video for after I announced it on New This Week, so you'll see a Data Exo 6 video this week at some point.
What a legend!
Huge shout out Rainer for tracking down that PS5 for me. Also shout out to Zach for customizing a little Mando figure for me. I gotta go pick it up.
Oh yeah, look, I'm almost done.
Did he steal the gun?
How shiny is it?
He said he was going to, but he won't.
Well, I mean, we never confirmed that, but yeah, the TVC Maldo Crace Mando is an excellent figure. It has ankle rockers. The only thing is this chrome paint that they use, the knee pad was chrome too, so I had to repaint it blue. So I have it painted blue. The paint's dry. Just got to dry brush some white paint on it tomorrow, and then you guys are good to pick it up. But yeah, I needed a bunch of those spiders because in the show there's like 8 billion spiders on that planet, and so I told a few of the local guys, because I didn't really want to deal with shipping, that if I bought the set, I'll pay half and I'll keep the spiders, and then you get Mando and Grogu and no pistols, and they all agreed. So specifically with the no pistols part, no one had any problems with that. That I recall.
Not what we agreed on.
Yeah,
did you see they're coming out with the Black Series version?
Yes, I need it so bad, but it's on Target where you can't pre-order it. The pre-orders are sold out. Check back when it releases. So that's
okay. Well, if you get 2, I'll buy the Mando. I don't need the little aliens.
Oh, I'm just gonna get one. It's so expensive.
Don't forget.
Sean, what are you doing?
Obi-Wan tonight, a couple hours.
Oh yeah, tonight. Are we doing?
Is it tonight or is it?
It's tonight.
Thursday?
It's tonight.
It comes out Wednesday, so tonight.
Wednesday, so tonight.
Wow,
Tonight.
good
Yeah.
call.
Oh, we got to stream with Cece. Dean, send Cece a message for me. Tell her to send us a link.
Yeah, I know they're going live. I talked to by message or commented.
I'm
on
down.
Matt's
Let's do a
post.
watch party on StreamYard if you guys are down. Whoever's down, send me a message. Yeah. we can
Oh,
have
that's
up
the
to 10
shout out I
people.
wanted to give. Thank you. I meant to give a shout out and I forgot all day. You just reminded me. I want to give a shout out to Disney. Okay. I know. What they did for the last episode, pulling it 3 hours ahead, that was cool. I appreciate that.
It was awesome that we were able to watch it. It was such a messy release because they're like,
right?
It'll be this day. Just kidding. It'll be this day. But just kidding.
Stop
you can watch
being
it 2 hours
freaking
earlier.
greedy. They gave us 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it was. Shout out to them. That was
No,
good.
it was nice, but yeah, like they postponed it, then they brought it up. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So episode 3, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Ian just briefly. I know we're running a little long today. What an angel, Ian from OFAC. One, they're excited because we're going to send them a celebration next year. Thanks to the Patreonies and the YouTube channel members, we're going to start putting some money aside for them. And because they live in England, so it's, hop, skip, and a jump away. Just got to pay for some petrol and some tickets, as they call it in the motherland. But I've been getting into TVC like crazy, and I'm like, bro, Ian, I need a TVC scaled mud horn. Can you do it for me? And he's like, yeah, just buy the file and the resin. And he's got it where it's like the little supports are there and it's sliced. And so he's just waiting on the resin to print it. But he's like, yeah, it should be no problem. So I'm very excited for that. And
a mud horn?
The little rhino thing from episode 1.
Yeah.
Or 2.
I'm surprised he didn't want one of those fish thingies.
Blurg.
A blur. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't want a blurg.
I do want a blurg, but to me,
Might
the
as
mud
well.
horn's so much cooler.
Buy the hot dog.
I know, but it's like, bro, if he's gonna.
But
strip you one,
also,
just
Dean,
get the other one.
the thing is, I don't know if Queel or the Mando, if their legs can mold around the mud horn to ride it. They'd have to just stand next to it. Whereas the mud horn, it doesn't need to
On
be
the TVC,
mounted.
they articulate just fine.
Well, they can, but I just don't know. All right, just let me live my best life, right? Anyways,
Your best life
I
is
love you
having
guys.
more options.
I love you guys, and I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan.
Arco.
I'm
I'm
never
dead.
not calling you that again. We'll catch you on the next episode.
See you guys.
Bye.